Hello! On this episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk to you about Amazonas.com CEO event pregame. It's happening. Are you ready to deliver packages? No, I'm not talking about Death Stranding again. If you don't get that joke, watch What's Up.
I almost yelled bones in your pause.
Speaking of that, hello. That other voice you hear is my co-host, as always, Boneless Lucky.
Hey.
And I am actually a time traveler, so I am made up of infinite gears. Omega.
Sick. Everyone, on that note, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Accept No Imitation. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you less FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for the JP&E version of the game, so anyone not wanting to spoil this should learn the difference between Faker and Pretender.
It's very small. I don't know if it matters. Is
I
there
don't
a
know
difference?
if it's...
I mean, actually, we should say this. Yes, there is a difference because...
I'm about to say, I think it's a small difference.
Servant names are all written phonetically in English, so Faker and Pretender would be very clearly distinct, but are they practically that different? I don't know. We'll see if there's literally any other character ever who is Faker, or if it was just that one time.
I mean, I guess this is not the time to get into it, but I was doing some reading and some research on some things, and I could probably, explain it pretty well why they are very different, but I don't guess it's time for that. I think now is the time for you to do the Patreon intro.
Yes, Lucky did the regular intro for the show, and this is the part now where I remind you that this episode is brought to you by our patrons, who include Adam DeHarp, Ahago Comics, Akazime, Arctic Black SG, Carlos, Dragon Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, John Sandoval, Legendary Boston, Darlene Kessler, Reach Raptor, Rowan, Trevor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Siren23, and Vern the Crow, and if you like what we do, want to do more, consider supporting on Patreon. Yay. It really helps us out, and you get access to stuff early. It's cool. Yay. Don't even talk about Stranger Things. That just gets further into the weeds.
Like weeds.
They're tall and scratchy and get everywhere. Sorry. I'll tune down that level of humor as we go with the show. I'll find a different level of humor. But yes, it is Let's Talk FGO. We have a show this week. We are real. Will the show be longer than 2 hours? I don't heckin' know, guys. Don't heckarino know. But I can tell you that it will. Check out my favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Regular Second for Pro Tips. I have 2 this week. 1, keep your eyes out. We should have a questionnaire coming up, because they happen in the beginning of the year, and there's tickets in it. And also, there's some strong evidence that at least the Japan end of these questionnaires have a literal, noticeable impact on the future of this franchise. See those movies that happened that one time, and also that TV series. So, also, I mentioned the Amazonas CEO event. We're going to talk about that later. It's another 100 Floors type event. I will explain that to you if you did not experience the Setsubun event before, the Pagoda, and what that means. But this is that event where they encourage you to level as many servants as you can, so begin feverishly leveling every servant you can.
Suffering.
It happens. But that is it from those bits.
Sorry,
Robin said something very funny in the comments, and I'm wondering if, on the timeline, was Robin here for in the pre-show, before the mics are hot, where I explained that the pregame is actually short, because I don't have the time, effort, or inclination to handhold you guys through literally 200 individual fights that are technically all different. So he's either bringing a joke from the pre-show into the main show, or he's making a concurrent joke completely separate without foreknowledge.
Either way, he's a gremlin.
Yeah. Well, your AoE servant's a bit used. But yes, Lucky was going to segue.
Sorry. I tried to flick my pin off my wall, and it hit my monitor screen, and it bounced back and attacked me. I'm not proud of this moment. I'm not.
Truly, the universe is random.
Okay. So, it is time from Records from the Throne, our regular team in top. It is just me this week.
Yeah, I'm a bad FGO boy. I literally just completed the main story today.
So I did protect me a Consort Yang smile. It is great. I am fulfilled. I'm super excited for Valentines.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy that sweet, sweet voice line.
Yeah, I am.
But alright, with that, we don't have any evil. Mostly been doing other things. We can discuss, did you finish your master missions? So to finish your master missions this week, you need to obtain 15 EXP drops, any type. You can obtain 30 EXP drops of any type, defeat 20 enemies, not servants or bosses, defeat 40 enemies, not servants or certain bosses, defeat 3 servants with the king trait, and defeat 3 servants of a neutral alignment. And I do believe that is neutral as in the front end, as in the lawful chaotic axis, not the balanced axis of good and evil. Now, normally this is where I yell, do the event, but technically that is not true. You can only really do those last 4 in the event. I don't think there's any nodes that consistently drop EXPs in this. Like, there's probably some EXP drops, but it's not a main effect, so what they probably want you to do is go do the dailies, which are all open later, and we will discuss that a little bit more. So you may have to take a detour to EXP dailies, but otherwise, King and Neutral both appear as wave bosses for the event, so you can probably resolve those by just playing through a couple of the farming maps. Like, I know Cleopatra, for instance, is a pretty high-level node, and she's got King. There's a couple of neutrals in this. Otherwise... Okay, so Mozart is neutral. Well, I had to bully him a couple of times. It's just 3, so we'll see what's up. Otherwise... Oh, gosh, I don't even know. What's the lowest level neutral alignment node? It's gotta be like Fuyuki or Aline somewhere. For King Servants, I think your lowest is, unfortunately, you have to go bully Shadow Arjuna in America. His traits are weird, guys.
Everything's in Forest of Jura.
Fucking Forest of Jura. But yeah, there you go. You thought it would be simple, but I talked for like 2 whole minutes about what to do with your master missions. If you can't do the thing with 20 and 40 enemies, I can't help you. Literally do anything. The only mechanics of this game are punch enemies. But alright, let us go ahead and move swiftly on. Sorry, I was distracted. Even though I have the server muted, I tabbed over to alert in general, and Loth has posted a GIF, which is quaking my soul, and I'm just like, fuck. Let's move on to the news. Let's not contemplate whatever the hell is going on there.
Oh, damn it, Loth.
We have several news. We actually have the Jap news and the NAM news. The US news. As technically, FGO's global / Western / North American release does still brand it as FGO USA, as we discussed earlier. But in JP, we had a couple of little things. So first of all, there was a New Year's 2022 Banner 2 campaign from the 10th to the 12th, if I'm reading that right. Literally Koyan of Light for like 2 days. What?
I mean, it's good that the server got a raid up, but again, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted people to be balanced.
I mean, it's a nice touch. It makes sense, but also like, wow.
2 days,
The big news, though, is that as was teased at New Year's and got a more full deep dive on the Shizuoka stream?
Yeah, it was Shizuoka.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. It's confusing, though, because the first one was Fukuoka and the second was Shizuoka. But we're here. Lady Reine's Case Files Plus episode started the 12th and is going until the 2nd of February. Quite a long time for that rerun. Oh, earliest neutral servant is Gaul in Rome, actually. Interesting. So you gotta go to Rome, guys. But still technically in France because it's Gaul. Anyway, so Plus episode is the usual rerun business. You can get your copies of Grey again, or if you don't, you get access to Rare Prisms. I believe you can also get some Grey Servant coins this way. Stuff like that. But also, this isn't in my notes, but I mentally compared it explicitly to how there's that whole sub-arc with King Protea when they reran CCC.
Mm-hmm.
There is a whole extra little string of quests, which are basically a Hephaestion trial quest segment.
Oh, neat.
She's your major story support. There's like 3 extra courts in it, and it's related to the Mystic Eye Collection train. So, like, yeah, there's a little bonus episode you can do for some stuff. And at 4 a.m., when they finally got to game news, and they're announcing this, and they called it Plus episode, I'm sitting there in the dark chanting, it's Plus episode, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, you cowards. Do it. And then they did it. So the summon banner number 1 is going to be Sima Yi and new 4-star permanent pretender, Hephaestion. We will talk more about her later. And yes, the banner simplicity seems to be the servant card is tagged Hephaestion. There's no guarantee that is 100% how they'll do that in the NA server, but we'll go with it for now because it's the shortest way to discuss this character. But we did also get some rank ups. Shocking, actually, I think, honestly. Sima Yi got another rank up, and Grey got a rank up. So we're continuing our trend of ranking up welfares as well.
Yay!
So Sima Yi's NP now gives the party 30 to 50% NP gain up for 3 turns, and also gives you one-time 3 turns of +1 overcharge as well. So the whole giving yourself +1 overcharge thing is really expanding. A lot of people do that now. And, higher level NP gain for 3 turns is pretty cool. I should probably keep that cycle a little bit more. Grace, though, is really interesting. Because, while obviously, like, I think for Welfare Assassins, Grey had some competition in the fact that Welfare Shiki is, like, a bonkers welfare, and then they buffed her again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think, like, if I remember rightly from Kichi Hogan's kit last year, she wasn't really that weird or anything. Like, she didn't do anything special. She was just a very well-put-together assassin. So, we decided to give Gray some extra juice. Now, her NP gives her 1 turn of Pierce. So you get Pierce for the whole turn on the NP. And, now, you continue the Saberface trend of she gives herself 10% NP recovery at the end. So, you get 10% of your gauge back. Also, the multipliers go up. So, yeah, that NP gonna slap pretty hard, considering that's a free NP5 AoE Pierce. That's pretty cool. I believe the kids these days would say that's pretty poggers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell I'm almost 30? Also, they've already announced, I don't know if it's actually live, but they've already announced there's a Summon Banner 2 that has Waver and Estrella on it. So we've got a pretty comprehensive old little event here. So it seems like they're doing some neat stuff. I appreciate that Hephaestion is permanent. That's always kind of a coin flip with these, like, rerun 4-stars, right? Like,
right.
Miyu is limited. Who's another good example of limited ones? Oh, Fujino. Fujino is very limited. Whereas, like, Saber Deermood was permanent. So, you know, it was a coin flip, but I'm glad to see that they are remembering not to block us out of extra classes for so long. On the other hand, I do think this probably means there will not be a welfare pretender for a little bit.
Probably not. Well, you never know.
I mean, it's true, you never do know, but it's just like with alter egos, we had this discussion earlier, there's technically not a permanent alter ego, and I think some people may have even taken our discussion from earlier this afternoon and turned it into mailbag questions, so we'll see if we circle back around to that. But the only, like, close to permanently accessible alter ego is Sitonai, and at the very least, right, like, we can have our discussion, I think, as a separate point about the difference between story-locked and permanent pool, but story-locked servants do occasionally get on raid-ups like limited servants anyway, so...
Oh, yeah.
They at least are not worse than limiteds, I think we can safely say. But you still have to complete story to get them, is what I wanted to say really quick. You have to beat Lost Belt 2 to get to Sitonai.
Oh, yeah.
So, people forget that, though, about alter egos, because I think, because the 2 Mechalises dropped right away. Yes, sorry, I interrupted you a couple times. It's because I realized I lost my thought.
No, that's fine. I mean, we did have a discussion in our Discord earlier about pools. I had some thoughts. I had some big thoughts, but at the end, I just came away with the major thought is gacha is bad and statistics are bullshit.
That, at least, I think that, like, no matter what, the conclusion I think we could both agree with. The numbers are weird. It's just dumb all the way down. I think I've talked about this before, like, technically, the way the probability chances work for you to get an SSR off rate-up spook, like, that should be, like, fucking impossible. It's, like, several digits to 1 chance. It still happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to you. It's happened to lots of people. And like, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, anyway, Permanent Pretender, all about 6 months after the class came out, so that's pretty rad. We'll talk more about how you can use that unit later. We're going to continue our JP news. We additionally have the FGO's 7th questionnaire. We are in the 7th year. Answer the survey for 4 tickets. And I have read a translation for it on the Fate Grand Order fandom wiki. There is, I believe, a full translation of the questionnaire if you are playing JP and want to answer it. There's some telegraphed questions here, I want to say. There's the usual shit. What arc did you like from 1 and 1.5? What arc did you like from Part 2? What events did you like this year? What new features did you like? By the way, the pity system is not on that. I guess they technically count that as 2022, because it was a New Year's update. Et cetera, et cetera. And then they've got some interesting ones, Lucky. Like, name your top 5 NPCs.
Oh, I looked it over.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, this spoiler warning, but I'm looking at these names, I'm like, I have no idea who these people are, so therefore I am not spoiled.
Yeah, I think, hypothetically, the name list might be a spoiler if you read it, because it's very thorough. It name-checks basically every character who has had a unique story sprite, or a unique colored story sprite. There are a couple of alt costumes on there, technically.
Not
it's
all
interesting
of them,
that we noticed that... Well, that's what I mean, right? Actually,
yeah.
No, does Lady Kazuka technically have a unique appearing sprite?
Yeah, no, it's Parvati and the Kimono.
Yes, okay, so... Yeah, that is technically a separate costume. It's not a color change like 10 Nejas on that list. That's basically
the Hoops on that list.
Yeah. that's another, like, different hair color and different stuff, but maybe it's because Kasuga doesn't have a sprite that's different. I don't know. There's two ways to take this. The dumb, depressing way is Kasuga never. The smart way, the Galaxy Brain, is, oh, they're already literally planning that. They didn't need to ask you about that. But to me, the fact that it's top 5 is like, this is very clearly a telegraph. Probably not for this anniversary, because remember, servants take like a year to 6 months to put out there. But this feels like a telegraph for like a future campaign where they're like, and based on your polls, these servants are now playable. Or if you pick costumes, these costumes are now playable. But like, if you vote up like Ophelia or like Gerda or something, no, not even fightable. That like, there are several non-combat, non-interactable characters on this list. Fucking Munier is on this list. I learned his first name is Jingle. Yeah, so like, Paxti, Gerda are on there. Fucking Sion is on there. Don't ask me to interpret that one either. So like, I'm sure there is. Sorry, I was very briefly distracted by suppressing the mythos. I had to suppress the unnatural. Like, I'm not gonna say that like these characters are necessarily gonna jump to playable because they win the poll. But I suspect that they're probably gonna be like, hey, this is the poll you guys voted in. Here's everybody's top 5 NPCs. We're probably going to do something with this. Bye. Tiamat's on this list because she's not playable in main. Sidori's on the list. Roland's on the list. Don't forget Roland. The Sulfa's interlude.
Like, I'm a little upset that I can never pronounce the name. But memory? What's the word for memory? Ninasine?
That's a very good question. Is it Mnemosyne or is it Mnemosyne? Because mnemonic, you don't, like a mnemonic device, which is the same root, you don't pronounce the M very well. But I'm not 100% on it. But yeah, very interesting given the Case Files rerun is happening right now. Oh my god, are they gonna do like a Da Vinci hat sprite as like a Case Files secret reward?
No.
Probably not. But yeah, there are a couple of characters who technically are characters with sprites that are not on the list. So I don't 100% know. I do believe like Abe no Seimei is on the list, and I don't know if he's ever actually had like a sprite.
Oh, he's on this. Okay, I wasn't sure if I saw him or not. I was at work, so I was kind of doing this weird look at the list, look at my work, back to my work, now that's the list.
Yeah, somebody reported that he was on the list. I'd have to double check, but I think he was, and you can just Control F, so it's not like it was hard to check. So it's an interesting list. And we could probably talk for hours about the NPC thing, but I want to say the other thing is they asked what events and what type of events do you think need reruns going back all the way? So it sounds like they are planning on indeed doing some Weird Boy old ass reruns again.
What I'm hoping they're going to do is they're actually just going to start adding old events to like some sort of event thing where you can they're just permanently unlocked. Yeah,
main interlude are in the Chaldea Gate, probably. Yeah. So that makes sense. I'm kind of interesting to see what they do with it, but it's always interesting to see these polls and what the results are. And like I said earlier, when I talked about this as a pro tip to be out for the NA one, again, I would like to remind you, they have a write-in section in these. So in the NA one, if y'all want to see that arcade shit, or you want to see like light novel translations, literally yell about it to Aniplex and stuff in the thing. But these questionnaires actually have an impact, right? Like,
right.
The Babylonia season of anime was chosen because Babylonia was ranked number 1 out of the Part 1 stories. And then they were like, but we see that Camelot is number 2, so we're going to do the movies, right? So these results have actual, like, meaningful results because the audience of FGO is quite large. You know, they've got a shitload of downloads, and I assume a decent number of people do the questionnaires. They can, you know, whoever it is, Aniplex, the new company, La Sengel, whoever can, like, pivot to, like, Papa Sony and go, hey, this is what the fans of this game want. They're where our money comes from. These are the things we can do in the future. So there's a lot of impact to these questionnaires. So, one, keep an eye out for the NA one, and I am very curious to see the results of this JP one. I expect they will have the results of some of these polls this anniversary. Lucky, do you have any other further comments or notes about the questionnaire?
I feel like I was making jokes about it earlier today, but for the life of me, I can't remember them.
Something I just remembered is there are 2 very specific questions about Grail Front, which are interesting. Like, are you satisfied with Grail Front and like how frequent it is, how it's functioning? Would you like to see anything resolved around it? So I think that means we're going to get more Grail fronts.
Mhm.
They just want to ask people if it's too crazy. But all right, I need to step away a second before we get into the NA news. So we're gonna take a brief pause here, and I'll be right back.
Brief pause.
All right, we are returning. We were discussing about cacao earlier. So let's do the NA news really quick. We got a couple of things. First of all is the pre-release campaign, which I predicted would happen in the last week of Enmate, and it did. Pre-release started the 13th. It's going until the 22nd. Log in during this time period at any time to get 5 gold apples. I think, literally, so long as you were playing FGO and you had FGO installed and booted up before this started, like, I double-checked the note, and I don't think it even said you need to be in Fuyuki for this, which is weird. You get 5 apples. Also, during this time period, all class dailies, that's EXP and mats, are available every day, but they cost normal AP, so they are not half AP. You can just access them every day, all day. And this is where I referenced you may want to do that for your EXP Drops Master Mission. We also have got a locked-in date. Save Amazones.com. CEO Crisis 2022 is happening the 18th until the 31st of January. So have fun for all that. I will give you the details later after the mailbag break. The only other bit of newsy-type news is, and I couldn't find the exact dates for these, like, buried in a news desk, so if people in chat or otherwise want to, the comments of the YouTube video, whatever, want to say it, feel free. But I know that they have 2 more Chaldea satellite streams announced and planned. I don't remember where they are. I don't remember exactly who's on them, but one of them is in February, and one of them at the last one was said to be in March, early March and February. I found it interesting that the February one is all male guests, and the March one is all female guests. I'm pretty sure that means that they're going to be doing they're going to do like Valentines hints at the February one, and then White Day hints at the March one. And some people have been like, "Oh, they might switch the two," and I'm like, I don't think they will, because it's like they could, I guess, as a joke, but like that's such a deep cut cultural context in Japan is the structure of Valentine's White Day a month later.
Well, clearly this is so that the guys can talk about girls without feeling shy. Clearly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's absolutely so that the dude's audience can be on, and I think Nobunaga's going to be on the dude one, can like talk about how cool the ladies are, and then the March one, they're going to have all ladies, and it's going to be how, hot all these boy CEs are, and maybe we get a brand new male servant, maybe we just get a rerun. I suspect new would probably be due for new. Last year was Amakusa with his costume, but Odysseus was the year before that, because we're going to get that this year.
Well, I am glad that we're actually getting White Day events, though, I will say. Before, I think it's been since, Moriarty and his bar? We've been getting them basically yearly? Yeah. Yeah,
we get actual events. I appreciate that as well, so even if it's just, Phantom Thief rerun, that'll be cool, but it probably won't be. We'll see if they get something new. Because, Valentines are half reruns, right? Anyway,
ish. So. I mean, I'm missing a Grail, so
true. They did not ever. Well, lucky that's why they gave you the ability to cast Grails, so you can fix that hole yourself. But yeah, so yeah, it's in a really weird state, and somebody let me know was technically Old Spider Spins Its Web rerun.
Was it rerun? I don't know,
because I don't know if it was. Also, you should, I guess... Well, actually, hold on. Ax just asked an interesting question about the Samba Kets thing. Hold on. I've just had a thought. I'm going to completely derail the entire show. You're welcome, Ax. I'm going to look at the questionnaire, because I want to see if this is on the fucking list. Boot it up. So, where's the rerun list? Guys, servants. Which events do you want to see have reruns? Neurofez, Moon Goddess is on here, Pumpkin Castle. Almost Weekly Santa Altar, Christmas 2016... Christmas 2018, Christmas 2019. Yeah, it's in this list somewhere. They don't name check anything but Almost Weekly Santa Altar, or at least the translation doesn't, but every single Christmas is listed in here, including Christmas 2021 and 2020. So yeah, I guess if you guys want to see maybe that Samba Cats rerun, you should vote for it, because it's an actual question mark in here, and that's really interesting. Also shit like Kogetsukan and Dubious Meihoso are in here as well, if you're interested in that. But yeah, weird. Interesting. Sorry for that little tangent, but, I had one of those infamous brain blasts.
Boom.
But, yeah, no, I suspect, as Lucky said earlier, that we've got the panels arranged this way so that they will have maximum effect when they show off new female servants and new male servants. Or Yu-Gi-Oh costumes. I don't know. Like I said, I think we're due for a male servant. Watch, it's gonna be the giant fucking robot guy of the silhouette for White Day.
I mean, I have a guess on it. If that's the White Day, I'm gonna have a kick.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
I have my theory, but I'm just not saying it because spoilers.
Also, I guess I should check. Is Spider?
People are saying no.
Spider. And it's not rerun, but Spider Thread is also on the list. So if you're thinking about it, we got a whole poll for this. But okay. All right. Yeah. So we have our theories. We have our stuff. Let's see. The Case Files rerun goes until the start of February. I don't know what. I should probably figure it out. Where the frick is that notes for the future streams? Curse you, News Desk, not solving this for me. I'm sorry I don't remember they announced the dates, but it was at like 2 a.m. Whatever. Y'all know it's out there. You guys can cross-contaminate based on when Case Files Plus episode ends and when the new stream is, whether or not we'll get like filler and stuff. I suspect we will. There'll probably be a hunting quest or an interlude campaign or something.
I wouldn't mind it. Well, no, we just had an interlude campaign, didn't we?
Did we in JP?
Because yeah, that's one. Because then the
campaigns come so fast in JP now, it's hard to remember.
Like, because we just had the one with like male comma. Because I remember that was one of the answers. I'd be like, yes, give male comma. That'd be great. Thank you.
I think that was technically last year. Could that be a couple months ago? I'll look at the events we got. I know that in NA we are probably going to get our interlude campaign before.
Oh yeah,
it might have been. Let's see. That's January for that year, so December. No, technically there was the interlude campaign, and that was the combo one. That was before Christmas and Tunguska, but that was early in December, so yeah, that would be pretty close. I mean, technically it'd be 2 months apart. Maybe they'll do a hunting quest instead, though, or something.
Maybe a rank up campaign?
God, yeah, remember when we got rank up campaigns for no reason? When was the last Million Downloads event, actually? We haven't had one in a little bit.
I do feel like they're not... Well, I don't know. With the stream going on February 1st, they could shotgun in whatever they're doing Valentines immediately.
Yeah, they could throw it out there. There's a lot of things they could do, right? I believe technically, like, for instance, for the JP stream of this upcoming Valentines, they showed Seishonagon fairly early, but they codenamed her. They called her, Kitakita Sparkling Archer, and did not reveal the full details until a later date. So they could always like softball us. But yeah, there you go. There's some speculation of what they got going on with streams and stuff, and that's all I have for the news.
That is all.
Stretch that maybe out for 30 minutes.
Hey. So, with that, let us move swiftly and stubbornly on towards this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week, we have a lovely round number of 20 submissions. I am not refreshing it. If you put one in the last, 10 minutes, too bad.
The show has been being recorded for 30 minutes. You're too late.
Too late.
It's okay. I refreshed just to see, and it's still 20. Now, if YouTube ate your comment, I know this is a concern we have. I don't know. Use the word fuck less, I guess. That's apparently a problem.
It's too much fucking. So, let us get started immediately. And the first time one comes from the Eternal Storm. Question, what do you think about FGO adding a feature that lets you rename certain characters? For example, having Space Ishtar renamed Astarte, or having Moriarty's changed back to the Archer of Shinjuku.
I just want to double check. This is not a feature already, right? Like, you can't tab on True Name Reveal or not? I know you can turn it on for other people, but can you swap for yourself?
Not sure.
Because I know some people prefer the non-name reveal version of Moriarty's NP, because that's the Subarashi line.
Mm-hmm.
So for servants with, true name reveals, I would not be shocked if that's not eventually a feature where you can switch back, if it's not already a feature and we just don't remember it.
What is Brain?
With Space Ishtar, they could. I mean, they call her different names, but, there's... that probably gets complex in programming to keep switching units' names.
Oh, yeah.
And, have to have different graphic packages for all that shit. There's a reason why they don't do true name reveal very much anymore.
That's all I have to say on that. So with that, let's keep moving on. So this next one comes from Miss Fujo with a tilde.
Hey, you can.
Sick.
That's in English, too, so we can already do that.
But they say, hello, it's been a while, hope you're doing well. My question is specifically for Lucky. After the emotional whiplash of Tiamat and Arcade, and the double blessings of Koya, Light and Dark, which servant do you think that will come this year and make your heart go, oh my god, I can't believe you've done this?
I can't believe you've done this.
May your roles be plentiful this year. Let's continue enjoying FGO this year. Thank you, Fujo. Fujo knows how to write in a question. Let's see here. Oh my god, I can't believe you've done this. Oh.
And I posted the GIF referencing. I don't know if Miss Fujo meant to directly reference this, but the famous GIF of "I can't believe you've done this."
Well, I think let me switch to Omega. Meg, do you have any?
Hey,
do you have any?
This question wasn't aimed at me.
Yeah, I know, but I can involve him with you.
No, I don't have. I was thinking to myself, I'm kind of glad this one's not aimed at me because I don't know what would give me the boxed in the ears reaction of "I can't believe you've done this."
Well, let's see here. Like, because unfortunately, like I will say, there's a lot of servants that I want, but a lot of them, if they showed up, I'd be more like, it's about fucking time, Not so much, like on the ground. Oh, like honestly, like I know, like it's already the year of Koen Skya, but they would have to pull like something like Amaterasu, or I guess, or something. Like something big and crazy, and everyone just goes, "What the fuck?" That is a definitely of like, I can't believe this has fucking happened moment. But because like, here's the thing: there's a lot of servants I'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." That'd be like Solomon, Gatia, Tiamat, Khosrow Drop, Violet, Charlemagne, Altera Larva.
Yeah, like honestly, the like, I can't believe you've done this would definitely be like, for me. That would be like that has to be like a weird out of nowhere, right? Like it's not like a unit I'm anticipating. It's like got to be like a full blown swerve, possibly a full blown swerve at like a really shitty time of the year, like manwishing a servant I really want between like anniversary and like a story release or some shit. And I'm just like,
I think like honestly, I think the one that's probably the most viable and makes the most sense probably now is if we got fucking Draco from Arcade just all of a sudden out of nowhere. We just like, what?
Yeah, we just get fucking powerbombed by the end of Arcade's entire fucking storyline for no reason.
Like, I can't believe you just did that. Well, that would literally be my reaction, yeah, so...
Wow.
Yeah. Nero Drake, or whatever the fuck they're calling her.
Draco.
I think that'd probably be it.
You don't remember the name Nausicaa? It's coming from chat. It's almost like there was an anime about her or something. I mean, if they're gonna do, like, Okay, that I understand. If they're gonna do, like, Saber...
I don't know. I think our class triangle is complete. No more.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any? Well, I don't want to. Just because we're freeball and mailbag doesn't mean we should go out of the way. That actually might make me, though. Speaking of that might also make me go, I can't believe you've done this. Like if they do another extra class, now that we have Pretender that has the stuff like at least click right, and click in a way that we have been calling for literal years, right? Ever since Playable Alter Ego came out, and everybody and their mom noticed, hey, this effectiveness against cavalry class is a lot like how the reverse of how demon pillars work. Gee, I wonder if that means anything. And I will continue to say that until they fucking drop Solomon Caster on me and I just cry. But that's also legitimate. Anyway, but yeah, no, like straight up like adding like Saver or Gunner or something for no ostensible reason is just like, what? Why did you do this? Why have you done this to me? Oh, well, we'll talk about this later with our new Pretender, but you guys remember that skills can give you class advantage that do things.
Stuff.
So you can have a character who is normally bad at beating up cavalry class servants, and then just gets 3 free turns of beating up casters. 'Cause fuck you, casters.
Fuck you. I think this lead to Waver in particular. Yeah,
it's very funny that I think that that Hephaestion has nega synergy, or at least is good at beating up Waver. I mean, the skill is so that she can pretend she's a Skandar, but like it's very funny.
So, with that, everybody died. Hang on one second, I have to res a bunch of people here because they're fools. So let me see here. Where were we? Oh, I died. Well, that gives me better time to read.
Question 3.
This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, hello, Lucky and Omega. So we're pretenders being someone else who has a role, or someone who believes that the lie that is themselves. Can we get an unknown soldier type pretender?
That is not a question. That ends in an exclamation point.
We're very excited about this, I assume.
Hypothetically, your statement could be correct, but also I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Nameless's gimmick in Extra. Like, Emiya in Extra is called Nameless Mume because he embodies every unnamed heroic spirit. Ooh. So, you already have that guy. You never know with Nasu.
I have nothing else to add on that. So we're going to move on. This next one comes from Cool Hat Paul, which is a great name. I love that. I hope your hat is truly cool. Let's see. But you say, question, what Nasuverse character would make a great slasher movie villain?
Cursed Arm.
I mean, a lot of them. If we like exclude like Fate, I don't know, like most
there are several, I think, actual slasher villains in Kara no Kyokai.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, guys, Shiki would just make a great one. And the best thing I think about a Shiki villain is that she was just trying to be return something to you, but just because she's so standoffish and just whatever, you just think she's just trying to kill you constantly, and she's like, I just want to return this fucking...
That's a plot point for 2 episodes of Kara no Kyokai. Shiki is mistaken as a murder hobo. There's a lot of back alley killing in Tsukihime.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jack is a literal slasher. But also, no, have you seen Cursed Arm in Heaven's Feel? He's horrifying.
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe, nah. I think that'd probably be more of an intellectual horror. I was about to say Toko. Toko's terrifying. Toko has just, kidnapped people off the streets for reasons.
No, Toko would not be a slasher villain. Toko would be fucking Saw.
Yeah.
Hello, would you like to play with some puppets? Spoilers, the puppets are you. Ah! Existential crisis!
I'm for maintenance. You see, Curse Arm in the fucking Heaven's Feel is great, but I just love the Uncle Hassan.
Well, I mean, it's a lot more interesting of a portrayal, because he's kind of a weirdo in Heaven's Feel as well, but because he has to, work through the fact that there's already been an assassin summoned, kind of. Wait, shit, does that mean that Sasaki Kojiro counts as a pretender? Because he likes to say he's not real?
I mean, honestly, I feel like this pretender thing has come up after we have everything, because, honestly, if anyone should be pretender, it should definitely be fucking Kojiro and Benkei.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that is literally a plot point they've brought up several times whenever Ushiwakamaru and Benkei together is, they say several times that this is not the real Benkei.
Yeah. The person summoned as the heroic spirit Benkei isn't the historical Benkei. He's the monk who saw Benkei's story and told it to everybody. So 5-star pretender Benkei. Give him all his bullshit powers that were too OP for Fate Apocrypha. We had to cut him from the light novel version.
And all the fakes in Strange Fake would not apply as pretenders, nor probably as fakers, probably, but
no,
it's still...
they're just, I mean, they call them false Lancer and stuff. It's because it's Grail War elitist, but they are still those heroic spirits and were summoned. It's just...
Yeah, no, it's just that the
Well, the plot twist of Strange Fake is there's a fake Grail War and a real Grail War, but also they're both real Grail Wars because they're both happening. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I was trying to fucking get it out, but it's
it's hard to articulate. It's called Strange Fake for a reason. It's weird. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that I think there are characters who could legitimately be pretender in Strange Fake, but some people will be like, well, he's called false arch. No, don't go down that rabbit hole.
Well, yeah, no, don't go that round just because they're called fake and whatnot. I think this is something I do want to bring. I guess I want to bring up. Don't treat Faker as something. Faker's name being Faker as something super serious and deep as fucking lore. I feel personally, Faker was just is when it was pitched to whatever writing team or whoever he wrote it. Someone said, that'd be a great idea if we fleshed it out a little bit more. And then they fleshed it out a bit more. Because as the Raw, Faker is a fake class for a fake Holy Grail Ward with a fake master using a fake servant using fake command seals. It's literally fake and imitations all the way down.
Yes. Whereas, if I remember correctly, the one-sentence description we have of Pretender is that a pretender is a genuine heroic spirit by virtue of pretending. They have accomplished heroic deeds because either they fooled other people or they pretended so hard to be heroic spirit it became true.
Yeah.
Which is also, once again, very much the Benkei thing, which is interesting.
Also, and believe it or not, I think it is because Faker was a faker that they became a pretender. Believe it or not. because they faked being a heroic spirit so hard that they actually became a heroic spirit.
Yeah, I also want to point out the verbiage of faker in case files is almost assuredly like a meta joke, because we know the word faker from Gil, everybody's favorite golden boy asshole Gil. Did Waver ever figure out that Gil didn't die? There's a 5-second plot point I want to hear of. I want Unlimited Blade Works version of Waver to realize that Shiro punked Gil. Anyway, but like, because I think Waver has a very interesting relationship with Gilgamesh vis-a-vis Fate Zero and that whole thing, it's almost like the anime adaptation starts with a flashback to the fucking bridge. I think that the writer of Case Files was like, oh, I'm gonna like turn this back on its head in a weird, like, creepy, serious way, right? Like,
yeah.
He deliberately picked the verbiage of faker for a counterfeit servant all the way down, as Lucky said.
Yeah. So, I wanted to get that on my head because, unfortunately, I saw, like, because Lucky does what Lucky does is he does research. And I actually saw quite a few people being all like, is faker and pretender the same thing? Is it other things? I'm just all like, no, but actually no.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we know that they're not supposed to be literally the same because they would have just called it faker.
Yeah.
Because they would, it's not like a translation issue. You know, we know the Saber class is called Saber because it's pronounced Saber.
Also, Axe, to your earlier point, someone already said the Jack one. Also, the Hassan, I'm not sure, because it's not as though they're pretending to be any of them. They just learned all the abilities and was able to become, the Hassan of the mountain on their own.
Yeah, so the quote-unquote false assassin is the... does technically they even have a name? I don't know.
think they do.
Like, I think they could do something interesting with making that character a pretender, but the point is that person wanted to become Hassan of the Mountain, the old man of the mountain, Hassan Isaba, by virtue of mastering all other Zabinia techniques up until then, which they did do, which is fucking nuts and probably very heroic, but doesn't meet the qualifications to be old man of the mountain. You have to come up with something new. So, yeah, it's a weird thing of like, are they pretending to be Hassan Isaba, or are they just like, I know the techniques of every old man of the mountain? I mean, yes, Strange Fake is very extra, but we're not here to talk about that. Somebody suggested that as a Teach Me topic, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that because it's not fucking done. There's things I just don't fucking know yet because, I don't know, Naruto's is busy. I don't know.
There's a, oh my god, I can't believe they fucking did this. Do a Strange Fake Ishtar.
Just do the Strange Fake collab and release all, like, 50 servants. Not really, but, like, there's, like, legitimately in. But it's not even what the Pale Rider is. No. It's so No. We're in mailbag. Nobody asked a question about that. I'm not going to talk about how fucking weird Strange Fake is. It's weird, guys. If you are interested, start looking it up yourself. And also write in the FGO questionnaire you want translations of the light novel so we can actually, like, read them at our own time. Anyway, let's keep going.
Let us keep going. Thank you, Cool Hat Paul.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills over here.
So, this moves on to Alias Illiterate.
But
question, howdy, cool dudes. I act on the solo lucky 6-hour adventure episode, but I'll ask again here to see what Omega has to say. Are there any CEs that you're looking forward to this year, or are there any event CEs that you're not able to live a break that you are salty about? Comment/unrelated question. I do not care for raisins and baked good. How do you feel about them in baked goods?
I mean, a raisin can go in a muffin, a nice piping hot muffin. That's okay. If there's a raisin in a cookie, I'll stab you. I'll cut you.
I don't mind oatmeal raisin cookies, but they have to be fresh and they have to be hot, fresh, and chewy. If I find first off, I don't like crunchy oatmeal cookies to begin with.
Actually, yeah, that's that's a good one. I don't know if I've had a lot of fresh oatmeal raisin cookies. That could be okay. But like, if the cookie is already cold in a jar or a bowl, that's not okay. It's past its prime.
No.
I mean, hell, I've eaten oatmeal before in its traditional form of being hot. Like, you don't eat cold ass oatmeal. That's weird. What are you, old man Kellogg? But the CE question, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is the same answer you gave when this was asked, which is just like, I don't really know. I don't.
Listen, guys. This is what, like, I don't memorize CE art as it comes out. There's things that I look out for. Excuse me. 4 things. This is my criteria of how much I like a CE. Does it have tits? Does it have ass? Does it have thighs? Does it have belly? The more of these that checked off, the more I want it. That's just in general. Like, I didn't know about I totally forgot about the Suzuka CE until we got a list up, and I'm just all like, whoo!
There are
just enhance.
1,600 CEs. Well, actually, no, okay. There's 1,500. It's just that the wiki has added 1,501 through 1,600. The latest CE ID is 1526. So yeah, no, I don't remember them all. I think some of them are cool. There's a new Gouda Gouda this year, so there's going to be a new Medusa CE that's going to be pretty cool, because I know that's a fact. I think that's my only, like, general assumption is, yeah, there's going to be a new Medusa CE. I'm about that. There's going to be a new wave of Valentines, obviously, which always makes me nice to see.
I will feel fuzzy. Oh, I believe this Valentine has the comma CE, I believe. I'm excited for that.
Is it the comma one this year?
I believe so. I could be wrong.
Which brand? Yeah, probably. I'm just not seeing it right now. But there's a lot of other stuff in there. The summer CEs are pretty cool. That's got the well, I'll just show them. But this summer is that Calamity Jane CE. Nice. And then also in the exact same vein, the sorry, Clyde cockblocked me from posting the summer Leon CE, but not the Calamity Jane CE, even though the Calamity Jane CE is way more horny than Chainsaw of the Dead. It's the thighs. It's the thighs. It's always the fucking thighs. The AI, we haven't programmed AI yet to understand how thighs work. So, like, yeah, there's a couple I would say that I think are neat, but, like, in general, there's, like, dozens, if not hundreds of CEs come out every year, and I do not remember. And if there are any, whatchamacallit, if there are any event CEs I'm salty about, I'm not so salty that I remember them.
Mine is, what is it, Halloween Petite Devil, first year CE. I never MLB'd that one, and I kind of regret it because it's actually really good. I cry every time. But that is enough of that, and we shall move on. The next one comes from the Tyrant King that is going to binge some anime over this 3-day weekend. That sounds like a good plan. Lucky's been trying to catch up on anime as well. But they say, no question this week, just sending good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And reminding you that friends, acquaintances, and families are sources of free labor in case your workforce mysteriously disappears. Anyway, take care and have a nice evening. That's a lie, because when my family asks me to do shit, I go no.
I have a non-reciprocal relationship. I'm a source of free labor, but, well, that's not entirely true. I mean, when I built my bookshelf, you know, my family helped out with all the bits and bobs and finding the tools, but, like, I can't ask my family to, like, help me edit audio. Do you think I come from a long line of podcasters? No.
Oh, with that, we shall move on. This next one comes from Gahulian God, who says, they say, I know the point of the Mnate event is to renovate it to its former glory, but if we were to do things like the first summer event and have choices in what to install, what personal touch would you add to the Mnate? I mean, honestly,
my first funny thought is mixed baths, but
yeah.
Wow, Robin spit not fire. Good event design. Yeah, I would redesign the Enmite so I could get tribute points, like, at other times than just in the middle of the morning. Anyway, jokes about mechanics aside, I really...
Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't change anything. Like, the thing about Mnate is it's a... Basically, its whole thing is a historical Japanese inn, and I'm just like, no, I want that. Just all that vibe, 100% down, go. And
once you finish renovating it, it's this fucking, like, Howl's Moving Castle weird bullshit, you know, stacked on itself, right? Like, it takes on that kind of, like, magical aura of being, you know, crazy vertical. So, like, yeah, no, I think it's fine aesthetically.
No, because it's like I wouldn't necessarily want a bunch of, like, if I was to ever go to, like, a historical Japanese inn, I'm going for the historical Japanese inn vibes. I don't need, like, anything crazy.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna be like, you have to, don't install the performance hall, install the ping pong room instead. No, that's not how that works.
So, we shall move on. The next one comes from a monster painter pondering putting Kama through Benny Emma's cooking class as she teases me over the hot spring over next door. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure Kama would do the cooking class so she can try to make you something because she is trying so hard to seduce you.
Also, wait, because Kama's one of those servants that has weird gender relationships. Can you use Kama in both paths?
I know she counts as male in some things, but I don't know what, actually.
Because like, you can bring Qin Shi Wang in both bathhouses. Because it's funny. And also, true perfect being. But, yeah.
I wonder who they would get to voice a male Kama. Anyway. Male Kama was on that NPC thing, and I'm like, if I had my chance, I'd smack that button. It's like, give me male Kama, more Kama, all the way down. So, here's the second part.
Yes, there was a...
Hey! Yes, there was. Hey, Lucky Meg, I'm sure everyone has heard the news of Hephaestion at this point. So my question this week is, who do you think would make a good fit for Pretender class going forward? I think Angelica from Prisma Ilia would make a decent fit. Also, would fill my quota for a Femgale in this game. Sorry if that question is too broad. We'll rectify next time if needed. Stay awesome, my dudes. Yes, Kama can go to the male bath, Architect 10 says. Neat. So...
Oh, and we got an image for it, yeah. Science, bitches. There you go. There's a whole new level of danger.
That is a whole level of danger.
You're not safe. You're never safe.
Hang on.
But yeah,
Hang on.
Thinking about Pretender stuff, I mean, it is pretty broad. We've already talked about some ideas. I love that gift. We've talked about some ideas before. Based on the Chloe precedent, I don't think that's what they would do with Angelica from Prisma Ilia, because she's using an archer class card. She's an archer.
Yes.
That is, like, generally how we have seen these things before, in, like, 2 we've seen. But other, like, Pretender-type stuff...
I don't know how they do it. I still think they should just somehow reclass Benkei.
I mean, they could certainly give Benkei a glow up, right?
Right.
Because I think he qualifies.
I guess that's something that they've never done is, take an existing servant and then just completely redid them. I was like, they are now this class instead. Because I think that'd be good if they actually made like a 4 or 5 star action Musashi Bo Benkei, and then
they've kind of done that. Usually they come up with changing the class of the servant. They come up with a reason to like change some of the design elements, but like fundamentally, Saber Deermid, for instance, is the same guy as Lancer Deermid. It's just he's using his magic sword instead of his magic pointy sticks. But that gives him like different class stuff, and I think the artist drew him like slightly differently.
So clearly, we need a 5-star Berserker Benkei.
Let's see, would there be any other like obvious ones? Like Benkei obviously would be funny. We could finally do that 5-star Kojiro. I know a lot of people want him to be Saber, but if he's not a Saber, he can. If he's a Saber, he can get beat up by Summer Musashi, which might be funny. But you might want to make him a Pretender, so he doesn't.
I'm trying to think of. Well, the obvious one in everyone's book is obviously Gatia. I think.
I think it is not a coincidence about the class advantage. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, no, we'll continue to harp on that. But
that's another really easy one. I mean, there's plenty of. It's almost like I mentioned before, there's this underlying theme of counterfeits versus real things in the franchise that has come up with several characters over the several decades we've been doing this. So there's probably a lot in lore. If you wanted me to put on my myth brain, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Toko. Toko could be your Pretender because it would just be a puppet who thinks it's Toko.
I mean, yeah, no, that also you could make that work for sure. That'd be very fun.
I mean, because here's the thing, because that's the thing about Toko's puppets when she puts herself on them. They know that they're not actually the real Toko, but it just literally doesn't bother them, and they just keep on acting like Toko would.
Yes. I still remember Cornelius Alba's existential freakout when he's like, but then you're not really you, you're dead. And she's like, joke's on you, I don't care. Joke's on you, I'm into that shit. And he's just like, ah! And then he got eaten by a cat demon, and then he was like, double, ah! It's okay, he was a punk bitch.
I think that'd just be the most hilarious fucking thing. Like, whenever we get the Maho Yoru night, Toko shows up, but then she leaves again, but she just leaves a puppet of her behind. It's like, yeah, that's me, bye. And we're just like, what the fuck?
The primo question is, would we get, well, we'd have, I don't know, this is actually interesting, but depending on if we get multiple sprites or not, would there be short hair and would there be long hair?
Costumes.
Ooh, that's right, even with welfares you can do costumes. But yeah, I was saying earlier, if you want me to put on my myth brain and like look for historical or like mythological figures, I would have to think about that. But basically, like, do you guys know of any like really famous actors or anything Because I would say, obviously, playwrights with casters get that creativity, setting the scene, creating a world kind of a thing. Like, I don't think, 5-star Shakespeare pretender. Unless they wanted to buy into that, Shakespeare's not real thing, but I don't think that they are going that route. But there's probably a few people, I just can't think of it right now.
I have to do some fact checking real quick. No, that's almost a fucking... Sorry, I'm doing a check real quick. Person name, no, they were not known for being... Okay, never mind then. But no, give me a Toko pretender. This will probably come back around later, but yeah. So, we shall move on, thank you very much. This next one comes from the Abandoned Warehouse. Salutations, Lucky Omega, hope you all had a great week. Amnite has been fun and just cleared everything. Currently farming the hot springs for seashells, apparently it's one of the better nodes for it in the game. Question, pizza or hamburger? Arrivederci. Mega, are you a pizza or a hamburger kind of guy if you can only pick one?
Pizza time, clearly.
Well, no, actually, genuinely think I would have to say hamburger. Well, I can say, let me clarify. It has to be a hamburger that I can make, not just, two buns and a patty. Listen, I have made some crazy ass fucking burgers. I have a hell of a time. Sometimes I put cheese inside the meat patty. Sometimes I put peanut butter and jelly on the buns. I make bacon blankets. Fucking, I get crazy with making burgers, y'all. So no, it's always burgers for me. Pizza's good, but pizza's oh my god. I can't, I'm very, I guess I'm very uninspired when it comes to pizza. I always, anytime I get pizza, I'm meat. Give me meat lovers. All the meat. Is there a meat? Put it on there. That's what I'm eating. Done. And that usually has a lot of grease and protein, and then I'm just my stomach is death.
Well, I'm not at that stage, but yeah, no, pizza for me because I do actually, I eat it with the meat. Pepperoni, sausage pepperoni, put some bacon in there. Don't put some ham, don't like that. Don't put any pineapple on that, don't like that. Yes, by the way, that is why that pizza is of Satan to me, because I literally do not like both those things. Or at least the kind that you will find on pizza. I'm not going to say that, there would never ever be a ham I would not eat, but I do not generally like the taste or texture of ham. I like other parts of the pig. Chops, bacon. But no, pizza. It's interesting you talking about how you always feel so uninspired. That's why I would because, I'm not a big, default hamburger or cheeseburger guy. I haven't tried to go crazy with it. I'm sure that could make some really interesting sandwiches. I don't got time for that shit. I would just pizza, crust, sauce, cheese,
meat,
pepperonis, oven. Boom. I can feed myself for several days now. Pizza bomb, out. And then I just throw the mozzarella on the floor, and then everybody is upset.
From this conversation, you can understand which of us likes to cook.
That is very correct. No, I do not like cooking. Give me replicators. I want to just be able hey, yo, can I get a blah, blah, blah? And it just prints it out for me.
Ooh, I want to break my fasting and actually order me a burrito. I think I want a burrito.
Only you can decide that.
Only you can buy yourself a burrito. Unless you want to buy me a burrito. Anyone out there want to buy me a burrito? Anyone? Okay.
Well, we're not currently in the form of the show that's live where people can directly transfer money to you. But we'll see if we get some tips in the comments. If you leave us super thanks in the comments, make sure to say it's for Lucky's Burrito. Otherwise, we won't know.
I appreciate the people saying if this was a stream or will send things to make burritos. I appreciate that. You warm the spot where my heart should be.
Well, that's the thing I love about live content is you'll make a joke to the people and somebody will be like, "Well, I've got $5 to make this joke work." Boom. Oh,
well, no, that's actually happened. I think I was talking to some guys, some people. When I was hey, I'm going out to Arby's, and someone was like, get a milkshake, and I was all I don't got milkshake money. It's if I give you $5, you get a milkshake. I was if you give me $5, I will get a fucking milkshake. So they sent me $5, and I sent them a picture of me with a milkshake.
Yeah, no, it happens.
That happens. I appreciate that shit. I really do. So, but with that, let us keep going. This next one comes from 5 Out of Hand. Dear Lucky Omega. Do you know with case files, it works in a different way than normal murder mysteries? Instead of a whodunit, it's why done it? I only learned of this after someone told me, but instead of trying to figure out who you're supposed... Excuse me. I only learned of this after someone told me, but instead trying...
Yes, we're missing a transition there.
Instead trying to figure out who you're supposed to figure out the motivation of the characters instead, and waiver explanation is just for lore rather than anything else. It's actually pretty interesting. Here to a good year.
It's almost like Waver literally gives this speech in the first episode of Case Files. Or the second? There's a whole conversation about why done it versus who done it. I assume this is in reference to our conversation about the special, which is also in that vein, where we were like, a lot of it is just Waver just kind of explaining stuff to us. That's not really a complaint about the structure. For me, it was more about the pacing. Also, yes, your grammar is, you need some additional transitional phrases there. Guys, if you try not to compose your mailbag on your phone, because phone posting gets weird. Also, yes, asking me, do I know the difference between who done it and why done it?
Well, I don't have the actual direct answer, but I assume it has something to do because of mages and not playing by the actual rules of the world.
I do believe we brought that up last time, because I've talked before about how, because it was explicitly referenced in Kagetsukan, the old school like rules of detective mysteries, right?
Yeah, one of them is literally can't be magic.
Yeah. Your story can't qualify as a quote-unquote proper mystery story if magic appears in it, because magic just does whatever. So with case files, they pivot so that usually it's not about necessarily the subject matter, it's more about the why these things are happening, or occasionally how. Legendary brought up how done it, which is another fun one sometimes, when you explicitly know what has happened and then the mystery is piecing together how it happened.
Honestly, I feel like that applies more to case files than you think, because usually Waver has an idea of what's going on. He's usually just getting the steps there. I think this was like a lot like with the special. Waver knew what was happening from the fucking start, like who did it, how they were doing it, but the why was oh, that's probably it. It's because Waver's actually a smart fucking cookie. He actually understands everything. But the why done it is the final play, the piece that makes everything fit together, because he is someone who solves things. Because, like, with Waver, like, if I remember correctly, Waver is not that great a mage, like, his magic, but he's, like, super good at analysis and breaking down and figuring out other people's shit. And because magecraft is, particularly tied to things like family, certain houses, magic circuits and all that stuff, usually he can just look, like, I am paraphrasing here, but I'm pretty sure a lot of times he can look at a spell and know who casts it and how and who casted it. And so the question necessarily is not necessarily who did it, because like I said, there's already signs that give it away, but necessarily why they are doing that, and if there's like necessarily a need to
well, and especially in the concept of doing mage cop stuff, basically solving magical mysteries. Why is a lot more important, because why is how you get people to confess, basically, because how it who did it is like, well, I know who did it, but this is mage politics, so that doesn't mean anything. I need to understand why they did it so I can make them stop and possibly make them fess up. But yes, to your point, Lucky, it is explicitly noted in Zhuge Liang's profile that the discerning eye skill, that's actually Waver's. That's Waver's personal skill. He is actually very perceptive and really good at picking up on subtle stuffs, especially like talent. And that translates to his magecraft. This is also why Waver is not popular, because the thing he does kind of like unpacks mystery, and so other people are like, "No, don't investigate my shit, you animal! Don't demysterize this." And Waver's like, "I'm gonna do it."
Like, no. So unfortunately, I did not properly explain that. But if you watch, it's either in Zero, or I'm in episode 0, or the first couple of the anime, which I highly suggest you guys watch. It might only literally be like 2 arcs. No, it's only 1 arc, and then like a couple anime only stuff. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, but no, Waver explicitly. In case you guys forgot, there were a lot of memes about who done it, why done it, because it's all in English. Because this person, you can't tell because Lucky read it phonetically, but this person even wrote it that way, as like a single word. Why portmanteau?
So we move on. So this next one comes from King Apple, who missed the last 2 mailbags because they were too busy sweeping the floors in the gigantic inn. It is very huge, yes. It's probably a bitch to clean. But they say, question, since we have 2 versions of Bitch available, does that mean we have 4 of the Tomo 9, or do light and dark count as 1? They count as none. They are not actually the part of the Tomo 9.
The Tomo, haha, joke's on you, there's only 2.
Yes. They are Tomomo faces, and like I said, I'm not entirely sure about this, but I do believe that they have been adopted by Tomomo / Amaterasu. I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, no, I think in, like, her lines, like, Tamamo is just like, yeah, whatever, that can be in the club.
And I think what they said, like, in Transit, they're like 20% of a Tamamo. I think, like, Koyanskaya of Dark was all like, I'm Tamamo 2.0 or something.
Yeah, the Koyanskaya part deliberately modeled herself on Tamamo no Mai, which is why she uses Tamovich's name, but she's not actually literally
a Tamamo.
Yeah, a fragment of Tamamo.
No.
So
it's a Artoria Okita thing. Kind of thing. Yeah. Same face. Well, you know, I guess it's same origin model, but you know, same face. It's just more Tamamo faces. It's just more Tamamo. That's all you need to know. Lucky threw his pin.
Did it attack you again?
No, it did not attack me this time. If it had, you would have heard me scream again. So, but that doesn't mean that there are still hecking 8 of the Tamamo 9 out there. God damn it. 8 more Tamamo faces. That's something to think about. So, with that though, we will move on. Alias, an Artoria stan who saw Queen Mab lurking Skahawk Sky with ice cream to her room while she was wearing royal lingerie and got concerned for caster safety. You really like to fantasize, my dude. Wasn't that literally a plot point in the story that Mabe was trying to be nice and cute and innocent, and literally was like, "No, we must protect this sweet winter child."
Yeah, basically, she's like, this weirdly innocent Skahawk is too much for me. It's too cute. Oh my god! But also, this person has other things coming. Did Lucky just go into dead silence because he clicked read more?
Yeah, I did. I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. So here we go. We are going to read. So, excuse me. So they say, Lucky, as a fan of Chiyo Saito, which characters outside of Nonsoverse have you also liked? Omega, a fan of Kano Ueda, which characters outside of Nonsoverse have you also liked? If you can think of none, or if you can't think of anything or no time, you can skip. Have a great rest of your weekend. VA meme joke, our new pretender is amazing. She is a former demon slayer before. I never thought it was wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon. I was thinking of making tea, but Smug Hestia likes to drink a lot of wine. Our cute Kohai also likes to get drunk with Rem, as Mila finds her new gun and Olympus. I hope that she stops Explosion from her new blessings with Dancho Arthur. She is one of the millions, Arthur. I wonder if I can get Darkness to play started online with me, since Asuna is trying to keep Talia Noah Conchef, Golden Karna. Jesus! So I know you're doing what the thing you're doing, but it's very confusing, and it's hard to follow. You're making me have to do VA math. I don't like that. Ugh. But if we're talking about Chiyo Saito roles, I do love her in Bakemonogatari. She plays Hitagi Shinjogahara, who is fucking great. She's not my number one, but she does it so good. I mean, well, no, that's technically still Nonsoverse. I was about to say Chloe, but I was like, wait.
No, that is technically a Nonsoverse role. It's you know, there's some crossover there. I mean, I can say my end, and that not really. Like I would say I think your statement was incorrect. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like Kano Ueda. She's cool when she's on stream and stuff, but like, I'm not like a deep abiding fan of her work because no, I don't think I've really listened to a lot of different things she's in that I was like, oh, that's not a Chiyo Saito. That's a Kano Ueda role. And with Chiyo Saito, she's got range. It's hard to do as well. Sometimes you're bamboozled. Like, I've watched stuff that she's in, but I am like, oh, she was a character in, Nanoha. Huh. Didn't realize that many years ago. Like, I think, I liked and rolled for, Skyfire and Arknights, but I feel like Skyfire was almost deliberately made to be a joke about, like, Rin. You know. So, like,
let's see here. I'm trying to think, I know Chiyo Saito from a couple other ones, like, she's John in, John, I can't think of her, in Genshin Impact. She played one of the protagonists in one of the Rune Factories. But I'm trying to think of one that, like, really stuck with me, and, like, nah, I think it's mostly, Senjo Gahara. Well, actually, no, I'll tell you another one that stuck with me just because it's fucking hilarious. She was also Lucchini from fucking Strike Witches. The small girl with the super high-pitched voice.
I told you she got range.
She got range. Like, oh god, I wish I could get a clip of her just so you can hear how she sounds like. No, that's Chiyo Saito. going ham. It's hilarious, especially if you do the Take Off, which is the parody comedy series. It's the fucking best.
Those wacky Italians, by the way. Kana Ueda has a role in Strike Witches, but it's one of the more obscure ones. It's she's Haidamari, who is I think was just in the movies and some OVAs, and obviously in manga stuff. I'm like, I can't even say that one. I don't remember those very well. That's not my iconic moments of Strike Witches.
Yeah. That
said, I want to throw this out there. That I know I should look at Chiwa Saito as well, but like obviously like Kana Ueda's like TV animation filmography is so long that Wikipedia has it broken up by years.
Actually, let me go look up Chiwa Saito's actually here. Let's see, this shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, they've got it the same way.
Yes, they do.
Oh wow, this is deep. In 2003, she was Village Maid number 2 in episode 129 of Inuyasha. Somebody on Wikipedia is trying too hard.
Let's see here.
I think my primary problem is I recognize several of these properties from the early 2000s. I do not remember experiencing them. That was a long time ago, guys. I don't remember those so good.
Sorry, I'm just going through the list now.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm scrolling. I'm like, yeah.
She was in Tokusatsu. She was the Dark Commander's voice of Tomoka Rescue Force. Episodes 28 through 49, Dark Commander voice.
Very thorough. Oh, interesting. They had her. Is she permanently that? I just saw a note that in the other voices. No, I'm in the dubbing section. It's not. That's very funny then. Apparently, they got her to voice credit dub over Princess Leia in Star Tours at Tokyo Disneyland.
Interesting.
And that's apparently her only dub credit related to that, so interesting. Oh, I do remember... Wow, that's another one that I wouldn't have placed. Senna in the first Bleach movie.
Oh yeah, they were Meyer and Arknights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were Ashigara and Kongo.
Japanese Sombra and Overwatch, okay.
Oh, that's right, that was her other big role. She was Homura Okemi from Madoka Magica. I knew there was one more. I just couldn't think of it to fucking save my life.
Listen, brain not always brain good.
No, it does not brain good.
Also just realized, wow, I talked about the Bleach movie, but I'm scrolling through the video game credits and Senna's in this a lot. I'm like, wow, Chiwa Saito's making a lot of money off that because they kept making Bleach video games for a while, and apparently they kept putting her in there. We got all the way to Bleach Heat the Soul 6 in 2009, and Senna was still in it. I'm just like, wow. We've gone in a rabbit hole. This is a much better use of our time, though, than Lucky reading out that thing he read.
But with that,
I literally debated getting up and walking away while he finished that, but I was like, nah, he's too far in. I'm not gonna be able to, like, come back for the joke.
Start the time, yeah. But with that... Oh, I actually did not know that. Cool. Sorry, Lucky. Like I said, Lucky is just continuing to read. But, it makes fucking sense that Chiwa Saito was Yu Narumi and Lucky Star. That's kind of fucking hilarious. It makes they really like giving Chiwa Saito kind of crazy characters.
I think it's because some of her signature stuff is the energy. Like you get that certain Tommo line reads, right? It's like going so fast, and then the fact that we've talked about this, she's got a lot of range. Like some VAs have the range, others have kind of like a very similar thing. Like I'm trying to remember exactly, but I've talked about this. Mordred's voice actress is also Artemis's voice actress.
Yeah, no, that one always blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, that's another time. Where you're like, wow, that's range. Like going from, Bukabus, I'll beat you up, to, oh my god, darling, Daisuke. And I'm just like, wow, you have talent, ma'am.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I think we've killed this one to death.
And we beat it the rest with the boom, boom. I was saying words there, but it did not happen.
Yeah,
did I accidentally
a little bit?
I think I was going through too many fucking Google tabs and I lost the mailbag.
Alright.
1 second. Where did I put it?
I'm gonna retweet some stuff on Twitter while Lucky's looking.
Okay, I'm getting old. Where did the mailbag go? Oh, wait, no, I didn't actually close it. I just moved it off screen so I could Google it. God damn it! Oh no, Lucky's already accidentally deleted the hecky mailbag before. Alright, but I found it.
Yay.
Okay. Yay. So, we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Dead in Argetlam. Question. Have either of y'all seen the second Camelot movie yet? Has it been released anywhere stateside?
Listen, I know people keep saying, "Yo, it's been posted on YouTube like 5 times." But like, I don't want to watch it on YouTube.
It's
Well,
like I would like to give
mind
them
watching it on YouTube, but I don't want to watch somebody like uploading the Blu-rays on YouTube. It's weird.
Listen, Lucky has cash. I can spend it. I would like to spend it on acquiring legal digital copies on discs. I was like, support what you love.
Yeah, guys, they're not going to sell us light novels officially if you like steal Blu-rays. And I know you're not technically stealing the Blu-ray, like that guy who uploads it to YouTube or those 50 guys or whatever. Like they're the ones breaking it, but like, do be willing to throw out the cash.
And here's the thing: if they were going to be like never, ever, ever, ever going to release Camelot, yeah, I'd probably do it. But I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, they. But like the thing is that like you got to remember, they need to cover the cost of like physically producing that media for us to consume. I wouldn't mind if it was also on a streaming service, but they haven't done that for Camelot 1 either yet.
That's the grind shame.
That's just like, help me out here. I don't know, it's a comic. Anyway, we should keep going. By the way, I did finally watch the first Camelot movie, and it's weird. It's very weird. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's weird. It's one of those things that if you know the actual source material, like, I feel like there's so much missing here. The problems of adaptation. Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, also the fact that it's a story that was not meant to be 2-part serialized. Maybe once we can watch both in sequence, it'll be less weird.
Mm-hmm. I will say though that as we said, it ends on a Stella, and it's good. It's a good scene. Like,
Actually, I don't know if fish have souls. That's a thing that's still being researched. If you want to understand the context of that non sequitur, you have to give me money. Join our patron only section of the Discord. The Discord itself is free, but if you want to go in the patron section, you gotta give me money.
That's right. We got paywalls.
We're not really great at paywalls, but they exist.
So we're gonna move on. This next one comes from Waiting for a Coin Scania of Gray/Gray, who wears robes and keeps shouting, "You shall not pass!" without paying a fee for NFF services. Hello, Loki and Mega. I hope you're both doing well. If not, well, then I hope it gets better. Quick little record from the throne. I finally got hot with 10 tickets after she evaded me in the previous banners. Now I am looking forward to the bunny outfit. Question: who are your targets for the 2 SSR tickets? I'm going for Saber Artoria and Signa so I can complete my collection of the OG FSN servants and Emiya family, respectively. Sending y'all good vibes, and well wishes for this new year. See you next week. See, I do actually just need a fucking soundboard so I could just have the positive waves buttons.
We do probably need some soundboard technology. That would be pretty good, but those I think are kind of expensive. I have a question for the chat. That guy mentioned a Storylock servants. Are Storylocks on the second ticket? Because I know they added a couple permanents. Because, like, if Storylocks are on that ticket, I know for sure. Because I was gonna... Ooh, okay. Well, then I know exactly what it is. Okay, so ticket number 1 is Tamamo. Because even with having a rate up that I actually did, like, a full-ass 10-spin, not just tickets on, I still don't have Tamamo. 5 years. So it's Tamamo. I want to do art stuff. I'm using, like, support Tamamos that I'm like, man, arts and healing and, like, charge down and NP stuff. It's cool. God, I wish I could do this all the time. So that's number 1 for me. Number 2 is, somebody just said it in chat, Lancer Artoria. Holy shit. That's another one that's been, like, eluding me for years because I have never had a good experience rolling on story randomly, so I don't do that. I think I did that on, like, did I stream those episodes or pre-record? I think it was a stream. I got, like, Jolter in, like, actually, no, that was a Maeve rate up. She wasn't actually Storylock yet. That's how fucking old that video was. I rolled for Jolter on stream and got her, and then I was like, okay, cool. Got my Jolter. Took me like 2 10 rolls. What do y'all want to see next? Because I was a moron and didn't immediately pocket the quartz. I think I rolled like 1 on story and then the rest on like Maeve and Cool Alter's banner and didn't get either of them. God, I've been doing this so too long. Anyway, yeah, no, it's Lancer Artoria. I got Maeve on a Valentines, so
the SSR is it permanent in Storylocks? Fuck.
Yeah, I believe it's permanent and Storylocks. I think it still cuts off at Europa. Like, I don't think the second one has Dioscuri or Odysseus yet because they hate us.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think the only 2 SSRs that I don't have then would be Tesla and Cool Alter. I think. Let me see here. Let me pull up this list here. Hang on. Let me see here. Cause if we cut off there, yeah, I got.
Oh, it does it have Dioscuri? Well, then it should have Odysseus. I would still use it for a Storylock if there's a lot of Storylocks, because again.
Yeah. It'd probably be between Odysseus and Dioscuri. Oh, it doesn't. People even.
So we're lied to. So it's not Lancer Artoria. Then I don't know. I've got 2 yeses and 1 no, so I don't know who to believe. There are
What
not
is this
2 sides
deception?
to every story. Someone is literally correct and someone is not.
Find your truth.
Alternatively, if you meant something different with your negative, please fucking explain yourself, because I don't know what you meant. Okay, it doesn't have Odysseus, it doesn't have Dioscuri. Alright.
Okay.
Guys, we
All right,
move fast. You need to specify which point you're talking about when you neg us.
So, for me, it'll probably be Coup Alter. Probably. Because I think those are the only 2 Storylock SSRs I don't have. But for my first one, it's probably going to be Europa. Like I said, I usually try to go for servants I don't have on these sort of tickets, just to complete my collection.
And you were gonna get Bradamante, and then you got spooked.
Then I got spooked twice. Yes.
I tried to do that with Tomo. It did not happen. I'm like, I tried to challenge Fate, and Fate was like, no, this is your hole. Get in it.
This is where I just have to slam the book down statistics and be all like, bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's so I hate it
this
so
is
much.
My hole. It was made for me.
I'm gonna fill that hole with all the SenSem statistic mates. Haha, guess what? It's still empty. I like throwing this pen up.
The funny thing about statistics is it makes all the sense and none of the sense at the same time.
Yeah, no, like, looking at this, I got... Oh, I don't have Napoleon, I guess. I guess that is still on the table. Or Achilles.
But those are permanent.
Those are permanent. Listen, guys,
How dare you? Well, I mean, with you, Lucky, you roll a lot.
Yeah. This is the thing I was trying to get into talking about, like, things like permanents. Permanents, actually are just bullshit. They're just bullshit. Like, story locks, they're bullshit. Limiteds, they're bullshit. Permanents, they're bullshit. But permanents are bullshit in a way that they both help and hinder you at the exact same fucking time.
Yeah, we talked about this a little. Like, while it's not, I think it's a different discussion than the question of like rolling on story banner with no rate up at all. There is still that factor that every rate up servant is still not 100% guaranteed. Like, if you roll an SSR, there's still a like 0.2 whatever the rate is to have it be non-rate up. So yeah, that's spookles. That's, the permanent servant gets in there. It's 0.2 or 0.3. I don't remember what the rate up is. They actually fixed that a little. And like in the discussion of like versus rolling on story, yeah, that's still better because there's no rate up on story, whereas on rate up, the majority of your chances are still for the rate up SSR, and it's different for SRs. That's completely out of the way. But also sometimes banners don't even have rate up SSRs. What the fuck even? But yeah, like at the same time, however, that does mean that sometimes you get a permanent servant out of nowhere, not on rate up. Like they just show up, and you're like, neat.
And it's like, this is great. This is wonderful. But like, this is the thing I was realizing. This is the thing I realized. The main method that people that spend, like I would say the majority of players who probably spend a little bit of money on the game, not a lot, is never to roll on story and only roll on specific rate-up banners. Correct? So if you're only rolling on specific rate-up banners, you're usually rolling for a specific servant. So when you get that servant that you maybe want to blind it, that's not actually what you were rolling for. Therefore, it didn't actually fucking matter. You would have just been better off saving your quartz for a rate-up for that particular servant. Ergo, something like that. Again, unfortunately, this thought isn't fully condensed.
Yeah, I've talked about this before. Stats and prob is like the only branch of math I was ever any good at, but to actually get a deep dive on that, I would have to like break out my fucking math and like look at numbers and crunch them, and I am not prepared for that right now. It's almost 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, no. So,
I have to remember to log in.
So like permanent servants. Just the concept, because the fact that we have our regular banner that has, like, as much as you guys don't want to believe it, it technically has limited servants in it, they're just not on rate up. That's the only thing that differentiates them. That's literally it, is that they're not on rate up.
Yeah.
And,
but that not on rate up thing, like, makes it so weird, right?
Makes it so weird. And then you have things that have a slight rate up, but is still, and then takes out the story locks, but they still have all the permanents, means that you can roll on either one of these things and have basically the same chance of getting that permanent. But
by the way, some banners have limiteds and story locks, but not on rate up as well, like Valentines. It's like the way gachas are built, but especially the way FGO's gachas unfortunately built, is like you want to make rational decisions, and often you do. Like honestly, like the fact that most people just straight up don't roll on story is technically a rational decision because
Yes.
there's no guarantees. There's no pity system now, and there's no rate up. So you are literally just letting RNGesus take the wheel. It's not a good return on your literal monetary investment. But some people have fun, anecdotes and stuff.
Yeah, no.
So we try to make rational decisions, but every time you think about your rational decision, it gets more and more confusing and arguably less rational.
Because, like, this is the thing we were talking about. We were talking about how there was no SSR alter ego, and someone was quick to point out that Seatonai exists, but Seatonai only exists on the story banner, which is something that is available, I will remind everyone, that is available at all fucking times. So, on a technical base, no, Seatonai is permanent. You just have to go to a super, I guess I'm gonna call it Wild West banner, and try your fucking luck, and spend probably way too much fucking money to try and get it.
I believe somebody simulated the summon to bring up to the discussion and got her. Oh yeah, no, he's just posted it. After approximately over 3,500 Saint Quartz and costing about 1,700 USD.
Now, this is what I'm gonna say. Don't take that immediately at face value because I've rolled on fucking limited rate up banners and I had to spend almost $1,000 on such things.
That's why the pity system exists, because gacha is bullshit.
Gacha is bullshit. But it's still to think of, that still exists. That's still a chance. That still is there. Technically, that is a permanent. It is just a story lock permanent. You have to proceed to a certain thing in the game to unlock it, and then it is available for you to roll forever. The problem is, it's just in there to roll forever with everything fucking else in the game at the same time, with no rate up.
I brought this up earlier. I would legitimately, now that they've introduced the pity system, and they're making FP Gacha technically better all the time. Like, they refresh the CEs that are in it. There are now 4 stars you can roll in it. You can roll Saber Lily all the time, and Habetrot is basically like a story lock welfare. Like, you get your first free copy in the story, and then you can keep rolling extra copies in the FP Gacha only. So it's really weird.
No.
They gotta do something with story, like, this year, I think, because they are really not making it appealing.
I think all they really need to fucking do is just give it a fucking make it a daily rotation rate up on fucking classes. That's all you have to do. Just match it to the fucking whatever they got going on for the Ember dailies, and just make fucking Sunday the extra class day, and just let it go. That's all you'd have to do.
I don't think they do monthly. Like, I know other games have monthly schedules. FGO doesn't have a monthly schedule. They do it day by day or weekly. And if you make it class-based, that's probably really easy to program, because they've done class-specific banners and stuff. You just say, on this day, you have the rate-up boost to all units, which are sabers. So you have a slightly better chance to roll all sabers in here, and you can still roll other stuff, and then that might actually make people go like, ooh, I've got some extra quartz. Oh, what day is it this day? Or, like with story locks, you'll go, oh shit, it's Sunday. It's extra day. I really want that seat tonight. I could spend some cash,
Like, honestly, it will not replace, the save for, like, specific limited banners, because usually, you want limited units and whatnot, but I think it would give a lot more incentive, because, no, rolling on story is not good. Don't ever at any point think that I'm actually saying that, rolling on story is a good idea, but it is always, and I repeat that, it is always an option.
Yes.
And I think
exists. And I think, like, that's the fight of story locks. Like, technically, a story lock is less bad in terms of, like, expected value than a limited, because limited servants can literally only be rolled on special campaigns, right?
Yeah.
And story lock servants can be rolled on special campaigns. They can be on rate up, they're on banners all the time sometimes. And then you've also got the fact that if you've cleared their conditions to unlock them in the story, you can roll them anytime on story banner. The problem, like we said, is story banner is completely random. There is no modification to that roulette wheel, and that's just really weird for people.
Yeah.
But also, the important thing to remember is the way that, I will say this, we won't dive into like full numbers, but the important thing to remember about the way statistics work is they are your expected value on an infinite time scale. Eventually, the math of the universe does balance out, but you have to be doing these things on such a long time scale. Like, technically, there is a non-zero probability that if you throw an egg on the ground and it smashes itself, that the quantum energy of that egg could fucking reverse itself and the egg fixes itself. The odds of that happening are so astronomically low that the universe will be fucking dead of heat exhaustion before that actually happens, probabilistically. So, the stats for gacha are just expected. Some people get super fucking lucky. They get multiple SSRs per roll. They get, oh, I rolled story like I spent like 30 sake quartz. I just did 110 spin and got season 9. Like, yeah, that happens. But there's literally millions of downloads of this game. There's, God knows how many people playing. Basically what I'm saying is if you have that luck, Dallas, you are the universe's fulcrum and you are balancing the statistics for everybody else. It is literally your fault. You are making the stats not a lie. How dare you?
But yeah, no, like, this was one of those conversations that even after I was like, all right, guys, I gotta leave. I was thinking about it at work for like the next 2 hours. I'm just all like,
yeah, it happens. I think about it with a lot of conversations. But it's a fascinating branch of study, but also it's like
bullshit.
You have to pitch it to people correctly. Like, this is why Mark Twain said there are 3 kind of lies: damned lies, and statistics. Mm-hmm. That might be apocryphal, but I'm pretty sure it's credited correctly. Because, like, interpretation of statistics is a whole different thing from actual probabilistic results. Just because you're supposed to get, like, the 99% chance to get an SSR in rolling 919 times or whatever, which is based on the old stats, actually, because it's the 0.5, which I think is slightly better now. It's like 0.6 or 0.7. It's increased in height over time.
Well, we also have things like well, here's actually another thing I was thinking. Do they actually adjust rates depending on, like, all the cards and whatnot in there? Or is it just as they keep adding new things to the pool, like permanent CEs and whatnot, do rates slowly get adjusted down?
I don't think they get adjusted down. This is presumably why they rotate out old CEs now. Because they've got so many and they want to, like, declutter the gacha.
Or is it like a system where it's Actually, here's the question. Is it a system where you roll on the gacha and you get a type of card, like you get a 3-star CE, 4-star Sci-Fi, CE, 3-star Servant, whatnot, and then they decide inside that pool? Or is it all just in one giant pool together?
Yeah, that is a very good question that I don't think we know. I know some people have taken apart the system. If anybody has to actually data mine that part of the software, let me know. Because, like, that's a fascinating system of, like, the other thing about probability, by the way, is how you pick things. Like, with replacement versus without replacement is actually, like, a whole thing. So, obviously, FGO does not technically work on without replacement, but it could simulate without replacement if, like you said, when you spin up a 10 roll, does the server assign you all your rarities, and then does it figure out what those cards are then? Or is it like, okay, CE, Servant, 4-star Servant, Like, how does the system pick those? How does its random number generator work, basically?
Because if it's the first way where it's just everything in one big pile, as you add things, rates should go down. If it's the second way, you can add as many things as you fucking want, and as long as they stay inside their nice little boxes, the rates don't fucking change at all. Like, yeah, but like, unfortunately, I'm not good with words, especially around this subject.
This is also one of those things where, like, it may just straight up be like, we don't know, because guess what? If their probability system is well understood, that probably means that people know how to manipulate it. So that is probably something that they guard very carefully. And I will point this out. Yes, random number generators on computers are not truly random. They are algorithmic. They're based on, like, machine limitations. So, like, FGO's picker is not perfect, but yeah, there's definitely some interesting thing there. And if anybody knows the technological answers to these things, do let me know. Like I said, I can actually wrap my brain around this. I just need information. So, it's also true. FGO's RNG is clock-based? Interesting. Somebody said it's time-based, so that is a common system.
What does time-based mean?
Oh, I assume they mean that, like, it's picking the random numbers based on your, like, internal clock counting, or the server-side clock counting. Like, it just generates H numbers based on a point in time rather than when you ask.
Oh, that's interesting.
The person who said this is typing out something long, so I assume they're going to clarify.
Okay, well,
there's a lot of ways you can generate random numbers as well.
Mm-hmm. So, with that though, let us move on.
Yeah, we've only got like 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, I wasn't know if we were going to talk about that. Like, it was in the back of my head, but I was like, I don't know if I want to get that. I might get in a fight, but no, it was all right. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So anyway, what this person said is you could hypothetically attempt to get the exact same roll if you rolled at the exact same time, but actually being able to roll at literally the exact second would require machine precision. So they've got, it sounds like the server has like an internal clock that is like randomizing everything like literally every second.
People got strats. But anyway, I will move on, because we do need to get through, and I am still considering that burrito. But this next one comes from Moon, is dreading on going back to uni. No! Wait, don't let me take me back there. No! They say, good day / evening, Lucky Omega. What's the weirdest nightmare that you ever woken up from, if you've ever had any? Like something that has made you woke up both terrified and confused. I can't really say, because I woke up terrified, confused, and aroused, and I'm not going to say that on fucking the internet. I have some.
I don't usually have that problem. I do occasionally get what are not quite like classical night terrors, but you know what I mean. Like you get a nightmare and you get irrationally freaked out and wake up. I'm one of those people who should keep a dream diary but doesn't. So a lot of my dream details slip. I've done that a couple of times for some very specific dreams, but like most of my was it last night or was it 2 nights ago? I did actually have I got woke up from a dream that got like freaky, but it was more like just existentially weird. It's usually just because the dream provokes one of those emotional responses that makes you freak out and wake up. Like you're falling, somebody's chasing you, somebody's murdering you, etc. Not the embarrassing kind, like, oh my god, I left my pants, or like stress dreams about having to go back to school. Yes, I do still have those. You will never stop having them. I'm sorry. You are psychologically traumatized. I know, it's rough. But yeah, that's just like, it's general categories of like nightmares that make me wake up and go like, oh shit, it was a dream. And then other times I like, the dream like fades out and I'm like, this is fucking fake. I'm not like a lucid dreamer, but sometimes my brain is like not actually asleep enough to be bamboozled. It's like, wait a second, what are you trying to pull on me, brain? I don't know, brain.
Do I have my dream journal still? No, that's my light novel. That's what's up now. What's this?
Oh
that's
god,
that.
I'm just looking through old.
No, because I used to write down my dreams. I did. Wait, is this it? Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, no, I'm looking. Okay, I did find my dream journal. What the fuck am I? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. My dreams are terrifying but arousing. Okay, so this dream came from January 6th, 2020. I wrote this down. I had a dream where I was an exchange student in some far-off land and was staying with a single mother and her 4 daughters. Things were strange, though. The mother was friendly, but was always insisting that she wanted to keep me forever, and there were strange noises at night. The food wasn't normal, but was still tasty, apparently. The daughters were more normal, though. I seemed to bond with 2 of them in particular. It even seemed that one was going to visit my room at night. It turns out the mother was a monster, and she wanted me to keep me there to the point that she would have killed me if I attempted to escape. She promises to take care of me, though, and will give me all of her daughters.
And then people are just like, oh yeah, I played that out again. I'm like, yeah, no, wow, that's just, you're just dreaming in doujin plots. Like, not even have to be like a sexy type doujin. Like, that could just be an original story. And then Junji Ito is like, at the end, he's like, and that man was eaten.
I
have a lot of narrative type dreams. They're not usually like that. My dreams are usually the equivalent of shitty fantasy stories.
Oh no, I've had a couple of those too. Like that wasn't like I said, that was like the closest thing I've had to like a nightmare. But no, like again, this is completely tells to my why. But I had another like, oh god, no, I don't want to read. I'm not gonna read out Lucky's dream journal, guys. I'm not. You got to pay me more for that shit.
We'll ransom that out on the on Patreon for large money at a pop. How much? Somebody in the audience is like, how much? How much, nerd? We'll let you know. We'll come back to you. We gotta talk to our accountant.
But no, like, I have scary dreams, and some of them, usually they wake me up, but I don't have, like, I have dreams like that, like, people, you people, you think I'm joking when I say I'm eternally horny on main? I'm not joking. So yeah, no, like, when I usually have nightmares, they're usually sort of erotic nightmares. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I should answer this fully. But,
and that's something for your therapist to discuss. I've had a couple that are in that vein. No, most, for me, everybody should understand this about Omega. Most of my wake-up nightmares are, like, somehow deeply anxiety-focused, like I said. Like, I'm being fucking pursued, or I'm, like, having a paranoid episode in my sleep, and, like, the monsters are out to get me, and it just freaks me out, right? Like, that's my problem, is just, like, I do the equivalent of dream about the ninjas under my bed trying to get me.
Yeah, I could have swore I had another fucking dream journal here somewhere.
I wonder if I should get a notebook and just try and doodle stuff down if I have something interesting. Because some of my dreams are, like, very complex with multiple plot movements. And this is one of those things about dream-like writing that I think is so fascinating, because most people have dreamed. There are actually, there are some people who have, like, problems with, like, mental visualization and stuff, and, like, they do not dream in the traditional way, but a lot of people understand a lot of the dream logic rules because they have first-hand experience, and, like, it's really weird, but also it's so interesting about how in your dreams, because it's all, like, subconscious neurons firing, most people don't object to anything, right? Like, you'll be having a dream, it has this plot, it has these characters, and then suddenly it'll, like, rotate on its head, and then it's just, like, doing something completely different, but it's still all the same dream. It's a very specific experience. But all right, now that we've enjoyed Dream Corner, with some gentle jingly night bells. I mean, I don't know if it's related to that X. It might also be related to you profess that you have non-specific poor memory issues, which is also true of just lots of people. It's why dream journaling is encouraged, because your brain does not necessarily format those memories correctly anyway.
Damn it, did I delete the one where I was married to the Dragon Queen? I'm upset. I love that story. It made me cry when I woke up because it wasn't real.
That's another one. The existentially depressing dreams. Yeah, I've had those for sure.
Like, I've had a couple of those where I was just so happy in the dream. Then I wake up and I realize that all of it was a dream, and it literally just fucking existentially crushed me. I'm like, oh,
and authors, this is why it was all a dream is a shitty trope, and if you use it, we will punch you. Nobody likes it. It's not fun.
It's not. Oh god.
All right, but we have managed to make this through the power of Faff. We've managed to make this episode raw recording 2 hours already, and we still have like 5 of these left. We should try and wrap up mailbag, and then maybe take a quick break before we actually do some more news business stuff that people want to hear about.
All right. Sorry, I'm like Lucky's Dream Journal, guys. So this next one comes from what do you mean there's no mixed math at the Swank Baller Inn located in hell? That's the extra fee. Dear Omega Supreme, you sound like a burrito now. Dear Omega Supreme and Honor Roll Lucky. Apologies for last show's missing nickname, Lucky. Omega's just felt natural, while yours had to take a while to figure out. I'm a complex boy. It takes a lot to get to know me. On to the question. Ever since they introduced David, I wonder if they ever dipped their tones into, how do you pronounce this? Abrahamic legends. If so, who would you like to see? My bet is on Jacob. Dude wrestled an angel for his halo.
I mean, that's referenced. Well, yes, because the Abrahamic religions are religions centered of Abraham, so that's the big three European ones: Judaism, Christianity, Islam.
Yeah.
So no accounts, yes. Also, on that point of Jacob, that's literally referenced in Fate. That's a skill that Martha has, Jacob's limbs. It's the ancient Jew fu to wrestle angels. And I'm not kidding. It actually is a martial arts style by which you can wrestle angels.
I mean, saying, well, they've already dipped their toes in, because we do got Noah in Arcade.
Yep. And they got David and Martha, technically. I mean, if you're talking specifically about, like, older style, like, Older Testament stuff, I think there's a few. Moses obviously has a character design, because even though that's not historically substantiated, I was going to say FGO, Fate in general, technically, because that's prototype, went with the idea from, like, Prince of Egypt that pharaoh was Ramses II, Ozymandias. So there's some stuff they've touched on. I honestly think because he has a design already, that does make Moses very likely, right?
Right.
Because there's, like, art of him out there that's, like, concept art and stuff, and related to other Oz things, so probably my bet. But they would probably dip their toes again into those zones. I mean, fuck, Solomon is a major character. Or was, will be again, has never been. Let's not talk
always
about
has
Texas.
been.
Always was.
So, I mean, I can think of a few, but
I mean, I don't know if it's technically like an Abrahamic legend, but I know there's a classical element of Jewish mythology that Lucky would appreciate.
Oh yeah, no, like that's who I'm thinking of. I don't know if it was actually Abrahamic though.
I mean, Lilith's existence I don't believe is attested to in the actual like holy texts, but it's still part of the greater culture.
Yes.
So I mean it's related to the mythology of Abrahamic religions for sure.
But
mythology is cool.
So we shall move on. There's a read more. God damn it. This next one comes from Master Summer suffering from his lack of self-restraint. Again. Same verse? Second verse, same as the first. Hey, Lucky and Mega, how goes the post-NY... Oh, New Year's. I was like, New York? What? New Year's hangover, if any. Actually,
I don't have any. I literally just completed the story today.
Hey, I should get some alcohol and drink with my burrito. The Lightworks like to torture us, and as someone who keeps a JP alt for testing purpose, I am annoyed with the Coin Sky banner so soon after a dark counterpart bled me dry. Has there at any point in this year where they have not immediately slammed the back-to-back something new and fresh and hot? Get it going for your wallet. I think this has been happening literally since anniversary.
Also, do want to throw out there, it's not like there's not a precedent. We've already gotten multiple layered banners on multiple events. Like, they had a New Year's banner, then a New Year's 2 banner. We've already have 2 banners announced for the Case Files rerun. Like, they're not shy. There's multiple banners. Pay it. You should expect this.
So I have no Sancorns to grab her. Plus, on my plus side, my JP, we may have more time to save up should I fail to get her in the rate up. I'm a little confused.
The tense is weird.
Yeah. My question to you...
The future or the past or the present?
I don't know. The JP main? Like, do you have 2 JP accounts?
Well, let's say JP alt and JP main, but then what's the testing purpose? Because JP all happens at the same time. Anyway. We'll get another comment that's like 5 paragraphs explaining this next week. My
question to you, I know Clairvoyance EX is a thing, even though it constantly gets nerfed. For the past, I don't think it's nerfed. I think it's just we see it. Yeah, it's just we saw a different future than what happened. Listen, remember, Clairvoyance sees all future. Only one will come true.
Also, if you want to be like, oh no, they switched banner order. No, that didn't fuck your Clairvoyance that much. Some of you may have been bamboozled by Super Orion before Saber Astolfo, but were you really that bamboozled? Did it change your rolling patterns that much? We'll see. I'll get like 50 comments about somebody saying, it did me! Well, good for you. But when they announce yet another Skahawk raid up at Thanksgiving, I'm not actually that bamboozled. I'm more shocked when Gil doesn't get a raid up at Thanksgiving, guys. That's when I go, whoa! Whoa, calm down! We're going crazy over here! Anyway, I like how I'm interrupting the flow of this question when I said we should speed up. I will let the next bit of this be read.
Nah, I'm just letting you dig this grave, man. Guys, remember, Omega likes to talk, even when he doesn't realize he's talking that much. So, where was I? Yes. I'll just start from the top again. My question to you, I know Clairvoyance EX is a thing, even though it constantly gets nerfed for the past few years, but I'm curious nonetheless, which banners, which happened within touching distance of each other, tested you the most so far in NA? I knew 2023 June onwards would be an unholy gauntlet, unlike any seen before, but surely something may have happened to you in the past as well. Take care, wear your mask, and get ready for the Amazoness climb. I don't think I've actually never been perplexed or bamboozled by a banner switch up.
There's been a couple that have been like, oh wow, that's really interesting, but like, none of, I can't, like, there may have been times when I was like, oh man, they're kind of fucking me by like moving these closer together, but it's not really ever been really intense. Like, I am way more tested, as this question phrases, by the actual raid-ups that occur in that order in Japan than anything NA has done switching those around.
Yeah. I have nothing to add, so we will move on. This next one comes from SJW Sensor Light Novel, or Unpolished Kinda Hard to Read Web Novel. Hey, Lucky and Omega, with the new Grail casting system, are they summoning servants and then using their magical energy to make Grails, since Grails are just concentrations of a lot of magical energy? Yes? Yes, let us just melt down servants.
The answer is, I don't fucking know, it's a game mechanic. Wait for Nasu to publish an interview in the year 7 anniversary where he explains what that means. Have they actually, I'm wondering, do they usually explain what the fuck the, like, systems are supposed to be? Like, is there an encyclopedia lore note about what palingenesis actually is?
Not that I know of. The way I thought it is you just take a grail and you shove it really, really hard against the servant's chest, and they just absorb all the magic energy and get strong.
Palingenesis, noun, biology, the exact reproduction of ancestral characteristics in ontogenesis.
That's a much cooler description. I was thinking about it. So no, apparently palingenesis is just you reverting your servant even back further beyond.
I assume that's connected to the mechanic in extra CCC, where in order to beat up BB and or Kiara, your servant has to get in touch with their origin to become even more enswollenated. This is where that infamous scene with Amaterasu occurs if you're playing as Tamo, or with Tamo as your servant. So yeah, I guess it's just you're trying to the Grails make you reproduce that servant even more real. They're even more realified. As for what that means for Grail casting, I don't fucking know. Of course, there's a fan art of that thing, like you said.
So the answer is most definitely maybe. We move on. This next one comes from a crazy person in the streets, and they say the gacha is bad, limit is bullshit, permanent is bullshit, and story is bullshit. Rate up is a lie. I was about to say these first four things is something I said, but I didn't say rate up is a lie. Rate up is not a lie. It's just that you don't have enough money. But they say, welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them. Narrator. Is this the opening for fucking Darkest Dungeon?
I was about to say, is this I think this is the Darkest Dungeon monologue.
Oh, see, Kaiser says ye.
To quote, the response from patron chat is ye.
I like Darkest Dungeon, and Darkest Dungeon is just hard.
It reminds me of several games I like but cannot play. Alien Isolation and Bloodborne among them. It's a really cool game. I love its aesthetics, and all that stuff out there. But also it's really fucking stressful.
I prefer to go with the Greek pronunciation, thanks.
No, I will culturally appropriate your name. Awe, true to Kaiser. Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
Like, clearly whoever named you that was just wrong in the first place, so now you're double wrong.
Lucky, I didn't realize. I watched some internet videos that talking about this, but boy, howdy do Legion guys in New Vegas say degenerates like you belong on a cross a lot. I think I just shot them in the face before they could speak to me.
Listen, if anyone got close enough for me to talk, to me, I wasn't shooting them quick enough.
Well, you never did an unarmed run with the old Painless, the grenade fist gun?
Listen, I love sniper rifles, man.
Oh, I mean, I do too. The actual way I play New Vegas is me and Boone with anti-material rifles delete you from several miles away. What's that? Deathclaw? No, it ain't.
You mean Deadclaw? Hey. I mean, honestly, I don't know, it's just a common thing, but man, do people feel safe when they can kill something from very, very far away and it not getting anywhere near them, okay?
Well, also, Boone's companion perk is bullshit. He gives you fucking highlight powers. Is that an enemy? Let me aim. Oh yeah, he's glowing red. I think that's a red guy. Die. Also, that is, I think I've talked about this before. Sneaky Boy with Sniper Rifle is my literal default character build for every RPG ever.
Same.
Like, unless I can be magical, and even then your magic system has to be cool. Full offense to Skyrim, your magic system isn't cool. It's
I'd
really
love to say, every time I play Skyrim, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna do something cool this time. Let's go two-handed sword. Oh, let's do sword and board. Maybe magic, by the time I'm done with the fucking burrows, I'm back to fucking bow and arrow. I'm like, god damn it.
Well, it's just, to completely turn this into what's up about game design, I think for me it's just, I've seen this with the way I play like God of War too, it's just like, distance is security. If enemies can get close to you, they can usually beat you up, and it's very easy in a lot of these styles of games to get mobbed by guys, because the literal way game design works is that, like, you are better than enemies, but there are more enemies than you, right? Like, there's always one player character, but there are way more AI guys. So if you go into melee, you can get swamped, and, like, some people like to spec, and I think I've done that Skyrim run before. Not, like, all the way through, but I've tried it at least. The old, two-handed sword shit. Like, yeah, you can fucking wade into dudes and they're all dead, and it's cool. But also, what if you didn't wade into those guys and they couldn't hurt you and you just shot them in the knee all the time?
Hey, listen, when I can just sneak by through, disarm, tramp, shoot people in the head, and not cause a ruckus, it's great. Like, I think that's the thing, like, I appreciate, like, getting in there, but I don't like, aggroing everything within, like, 2 miles of me.
Yeah, no, especially for RPGs, like, where you get to, like, kind of pick your own, like, work, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you get to try and play things your way. Like, obviously with God of War, it's an action game, so it's different, but for games that actually have, like, that stealth element, like, guys, sneaking is OP because it means you, like, literally don't have to deal with certain problems. I sneak everywhere in Skyrim. I am constantly crouched. I am picking every lock. I disarm all the traps unless I literally don't see them, and then I get hit in the face with a fucking troll skull on a stick on a line like an idiot. And then Lydia is like, "Oh, yeah."
But no, I'm the same way. As much as I think you guys have seen my play, so I am much more in like actions. I'm willing just to get the fuck in there and be wild. But no, if I can stealth, fuck yeah, I'm stealthing. Why do I want to confront this problem? I don't.
And it's because if the game properly rewards stealth, like I said, it's OP. all those bandits? Well, if I just ran in here kicking and screaming, they'd all climb out of their beds and, like, try and stab me, and then I gotta fight, like, 4 guys at once. If I shoot them all in the forehead while they sleep, then I don't have to deal with this problem like that.
Okay, I need to call this person who's playing Isekai Succubus, my Gingerbread Saga in another world. I have questions. Hang on. I don't want to actually out this person, but...
Well, it's too late. Discord is already out of them. I wonder if that means that's on Steam.
I gotta look. Hang the fuck on.
A lot of shit's on Steam.
If there's something I definitely need to do. I need to get back into my VN Saga. I have a bunch of them that I'm like, I'm gonna play these one day, and I don't. It's on Steam. It's $11.99. Sick.
Facts proven.
Oh, it came out today.
Ah, well, no wonder they're playing it.
It looks an Isekai 3D dungeon crawler RPG following the stories of a gingerbread protagonist and cute succubus girls. Publisher Arrowgate Japan. Nice. I'm gonna add that to my wish list. It actually looks pretty neat. Actually, what is it? Oh, neat. This actually does look.
I mean, it doesn't have to be involved nudity for it to be cool, guys.
No, I'm just like, listen, I just like the premise of it, alright? I like monster girls, I like lewd things. It doesn't have to be super fucking sexual. It's like why I like Destiny Child and, Last Origin so much. There's no actual sex involved, there's just a lot of exposed skin and suggestive posing, and then, you got good gameplay and story on top of that. Alright, but I am sorry, I have detached that because I saw the words Isekai and Succubus really close together.
Yeah.
So, my bad, that was my fault. Lucky will take a yellow card. So, we shall move on. We will talk more about game design and whatnot tomorrow.
Yes, we will. By the way, that's not a spoiler. Like, actually, interestingly enough, game design stuff has come up in my week, so I will want to talk about it. But
Lucky's always down with game design.
Well, it's true. We're always down to talk about game design anyway, but I've actually been thinking about certain things. We'll get there.
So, this last one comes from the one seeking knowledge in the universe, and is therefore immune to spoilers.
With too many spaces between is and therefore.
You're
is
not
this the
immune.
true secret of the owl knowledge?
Well, you might be immune to spoilers, but you're not immune to grammar mistakes.
You're not immune to the red pen.
Hello, Chessmaster Lucky and White Knight Omega. I am not a chess master. I know how to play chess, but that's about it. That's all I got, y'all. I don't think I can beat anybody in a game of chess. But they go on to say, my question might be controversial, so feel free to skip it. I will do a pre-read here real quick.
I don't think it's that controversial.
It's not that controversial, but I do think it's an interesting point I will want to bring up. I just had to realize that with a few flood-related bees, could one of them be a stealth representation of global warming, as art mimics real life? Would like to know your opinion. Regardless if this question was skipped, wish you the best over the airwaves. There was a jingle with that, but I don't know. So, I don't think your question is necessarily controversial, not with global warming, but the thing you have to remember with, like, beasts and, like, giant floods is that floods is literally I don't even know what the proper term is, but, like, a transcultural, like...
It's like a mythological constant. There's a term for, like, like, typographic cases and stuff in, like, folklore that I don't remember off the top of my head, despite the fact that I love it so much, but there's specific verbiage about this, we don't remember it, but things like Journey to the Underworld and the Flood and stuff like that are some of the few things that, like, almost every human culture whose records we can read or speak or understand has something about flooding. And specifically in Indo-European mythology, which where obviously we get a lot of our stuff from, because that's the origin of, like, Western culture, there's also a shitload of primordial watery chaos deities as well. Mm-hmm. So there is something... I think it's interesting this person says, oh, is this like art imitates life? Is this like a commentary on the future of global warming? I think you're looking in the wrong direction. While obviously you can relate the past to the present and the future, I'm pretty sure the reason why mythologically these are connected is because there's something really, really deeply buried in the human psyche for some reason about flooding. And like we all tell stories about, man, it would sure suck if the earth was covered completely by water, or boy howdy, it really sucked when the earth was completely covered by water that one time.
I mean, Omega has mentioned this. We do have literally drowned cities and whatnot, like
There's a few things.
Yeah. So no, at some point, like you speak of global warming, like in the future, no, like global warming in the fucking past or some sort of cataclysmic event. Because guys, you don't understand. We like the Earth.
There used to be an ice age.
There used to be 2 ice ages. Those thawed eventually, so shit had to heat up.
But also in the past, the Earth has been warmer than it was now. Not that I'm saying that's a good thing and that you shouldn't be like possibly concerned about your environmental footprint and whatever, but the Earth has done a lot of different stuff at different points. The center of America used to be an ocean, and it may or may not do it again in the future. And I don't know, all those people who live in Arizona sure should be concerned because you can't water your fucking lawn in the ocean. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Like another point though, you're talking about like Indo-European things. Like I was thinking about like Japanese mythology. At some point, Japan literally just wasn't there. It's a volcanic island chain. One day, a volume just like out of time threw up a bunch of lava that may have had a land bridge, and China people walked there, and they explained the mythology about fucking Izanami and Izanagi literally stirring the fucking primordial sea again with a spear.
It's really interesting because we know from thanks to geology and like geographic history that technically the first period of the Earth was fire-based, the Hadean Eon, as in Hades, the flaming underworld. But there a lot of cultures just assume at one point that like, oh yeah, it's perfectly natural. Everything used to be water. Why wouldn't it be? We see islands rise up out of the ocean. Clearly, water is the original state of the world. Mm-hmm. Which I do not. While Earth has always had a lot of water coverage, I think technically the development of liquid water would not have completely covered the Earth. Like, sea levels wouldn't have necessarily covered everything, just because geology is weird, but I am not an expert on every single era of planetary history because the Earth is fucking old.
From what I understand, like, there could have been a point, but it had been like, this is past, molten ball of magma phrase.
And I'm fairly certain if I remember my timelines, humans cannot remember Pangea. Right? No, this is like this. If we were dinosaurs, even.
No, if the Earth was ever covered in water, it'd be pre-Pangea. This would be like when the tectonic plates were like before they actually started.
You know what? I was just thinking. No, you know what it is, Lucky? It is the Ice Age. I bet it was glacial melt. Like sea levels did rise. Like that's probably literally what people remember was sea levels rising.
Well, like I said, I don't know. I don't know when like human memory started being, or like we started passing down like vocal traditions. Because like, here's the thing: whatever species we like descended from, we still probably had like some way of passing on information or whatnot. And that might have just changed throughout the web. So who knows? Maybe
Homo sapiens. We've been around for several tens of thousands of years. Humans drew stuff on caves for a long time, which, as we've discussed before, because this has actually come up in Fate a couple of times, like some of that knowledge is really fucking old. We humans mostly draw animals, people, stars, and then some other stuff.
But we could have like even had
music though.
We could have had an oral tradition even before that. So
yeah, before some asshole said, "Hey, what if we want to preserve this? We drew a picture of the bull hunt on a wall so that even if everybody who's here now forgets about it, somebody can later go, bull hunt on wall." And I also heard a great theory that I heard it's a theory because there's no fucking way we can ever prove it, but it's really interesting that cave paintings are actually an extremely primitive form of animation, because a lot of cave paintings have multiple heads or limbs. Well, remember, humans were a torchlight society. We didn't have electric lighting for, thousands of years.
Oh, so
and
flickering
torches
light.
Flicker. Yeah. So, hypothetically, shadows would interplay over these images, and you would see the torchlight would roll, and you would see them appear to move. Which sounds absolutely like a human thing, because we're fucking weird. Humans are nuts, guys. Like I said, I think this was on air, but I don't remember. I was watching a video called, that people should watch, called Explaining the Archaeology Iceberg, and it's a guy who apparently has some archaeology experience talking about like going down the line of stuff, and brought up like the ancient aliens guy at the like above surface level, and pointed out that how kind of racist and Eurocentric the ancient aliens conspiracies are. Oh gee, all these non-white people definitely had aliens build these pyramids for them. They couldn't have built them on their own. But, like, the next level down is, no, aliens didn't do it. No, we did build those things. We built the 7 Wonders of the World. That's how fucking crazy we are. Some guy went, I want to build a giant triangle of stone. How do I do that? Well, they're going to pile up all these fucking stones. How did they do it? We don't even know, actually, by the way. There's still, like, ongoing research about how the pyramids were built. There's apparently, like, internal versus external ramp theory, Like, the pyramids might actually have the ramps built into their construction, like, inside the walls, that we just can't see because we're not going to take it apart. Once again, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills over here is my quote. Yeah, it took a shitload of labor, but luckily the Egyptians had readily available labor force because Egyptian farmers are literally not doing anything half the year when the Nile isn't flooded. By the way, the Egyptians have a very interesting relationship to water. Not only is it their origin, but they actually think flooding the Nile is good, actually, because that's how they used to do irrigation, because humans hadn't invented canals yet. Seasonal flooding is also very important for that reason. So basically, while obviously I think, like I said, you can draw parallels to current stuff in storytelling, I'm pretty sure fate being a mythologically based thing, though I also do want to point out that Nasu has a huge boner for the environmental devastation of the Earth. He constantly brings it up. No idea why. But the reason why a lot of these mythological figures are tied to that is because that is a huge through line of human mythology and history and folklore, is the concept of the flood and deities, figures, whatever, associated with the primordial waters and all that other stuff. So, yeah, we have a lot of baggage about this for some reason. And we can't really know why, because writing is, like, relatively new. Like, again, I would like to point out, they have found, like, early Stone Age era, like, flutes made of, like, ivory and bone and stuff, you know, mammoth tusk, right? So we have been playing music longer than people have had, like, a system that can be recognized as language, as written word. So it's weird to think about all these, like, cultural contexts for things that we just don't understand because our ancestors could not write it down. Never mind all the shit we don't know because people wrote things down in languages that weren't translated.
Or, burnt.
Yeah. Well, not even burnt. It's like Mycenae and Linear A, we can't fucking read, and nobody translated it, so we don't understand. Nobody in the past thought to, like, when we developed a new system of writing and language to be like, and here's how you interpret the old fucking writing system. Thanks, Greece.
You the best. But anyway, that's it for our mailbags. I'm gonna yeet that tab. Get out of here.
All right.
Done with the...
We've been going for raw audio-wise 2.5 hours, so I think another little intermission would be appropriate. I'm gonna go take a break, get up, walk around, log into FGO real quick, and we'll be right back with the rest of the show. Meow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically, I probably should have spent my weekly ticket on Mike, because that would be funny. But, guys, Yang's back on Raid Up. I spent the ticket. I got a Geronimo. How you doing? So, let's actually move into, free talk. And, first, this was your, little social media baby first in our list, Lucky, so...
Oh, yeah. So, So, I've been trying, in the past 1 week to be more active on our Twitter. Usually usually Omega makes sure to tweet out latest videos and whatnot, but I was all like, I have thoughts, I have feeling, I'm gonna get them out. So, I've been retweeting a couple things, and... This was basically something from our previous show, specifically last month's Teach Me Omega Sensei, where we not Teach Me Omega, it was before that, but basically back from the Teach Me about the Aozaki sisters, things have been rolling around in my head about the Aozaki sisters because I love them, and with them coming up, I would say quite frequently in the past couple days, not past couple days, but in the past month or so, with the Mahoyoro movie being announced, the visual novel being re-released, Toka's appearance in Case Files, Alko's appearance in Melty Blood, it seems everything's coming up Aozaki right now, and I'm just like, Now, and so the next thing is in, the next few months, we're gonna have the, our annual tradition, the Fate Grand Order collab during Golden Week, in which we pick some other, random Nasuverse, property to throw into the mix. Now, as most people should know, hecking, Tsukihime, it's off the table. It's literally off the table. Nasu has said that they're literally waiting till after they get done with part 2 before they consider it. So, this is not the year of Tsukihime. Just surprised. Unless Nasu and a Mad Lad just, comes out and it's like, it's been done the entire time and just throws the disc at you. It's not happening.
I mean, I don't know if it would be done the entire time, but I don't know if he took a break. I hope he took a break. Because it's in interviews where, like, Takeuchi is like, this mushroom is dead. He's not alive. He needs his rest. But, like, he could have just immediately mad-ladded himself into even more work on the other half of Tsukihime. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any, like, plans about that or anything, so we're chilling.
So that brings me to what I guess I would consider probably the three most likely candidates for this year's collab. It will be either be Extella, and maybe we'll get our fucking goddamn Charlemagne for once. It will be FGRK, because if they can fucking collab with their goddamn, I shouldn't say goddamn like it's a bad thing, because I actually am super hyped for it. For their little rhythm game, they can collab with that. They can collab with Arcade. You can't tell me that they can't. And the third one, which I'm actually thinking is probably the most likely, is Maho Sakai no Yoru.
Yeah. Because, they announced the movie this year.
Like I said, it's all coming up Alzaki. Now, with that being said, like, my first immediate thought was always, well, how would the server line up? Because you got to have both Alzaki sisters, and so I decided to ask everyone out there on Twitter. And unfortunately, only 50 of you responded, but I appreciate each and every single one of you. So on Twitter, I wrote, okay, I literally can't get this out of my head, so I need you all to tell me. For a Maho Yoru collab and FGO, would you rather Welfare Alco, SSR Toko, or Welfare Toko, SSR Alco? And out of 50 votes, we have a pretty sizable split of 36% for Welfare Alco and 64% for Welfare Toko. It's pretty sizable. Now, and I was just like, and I'm like, wow, I'm wondering, like, what is people's, like, thought process on this? Because with the welfare, you automatically get, like, you can basically guarantee yourself NP5, right?
Yep. You get NP5, you've got the unit guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. But usually when they're an SSR, that means they usually have bigger numbers, and sometimes their kits can be a little bit more wild. Plus, you have, since it's not a welfare,
a lot of welfares seem to, like, fill very clear niches in the game. Like, there have been a couple of weird welfares, but usually, like, not to say welfares are bad, but usually they're just like, hello, this unit is just a good generic unit of this class. Have fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, like, with SSRs, you get, like, different ascension arts and all that crazy stuff. And no, it seems like most people want a welfare token in SSR Alco. Now, the thing that makes me wonder about this is they want the welfare Toko because they want, like, MP5 Toko, or do they want super fancy Alco? I'm not entirely sure. That's the weird thing about this.
I will say, based on the couple of comments we got, like, we only got a couple of replies, there at least seems to be some element of this movement, which is, well, Alco's got true magic and she's stronger, so she should be the higher star rarity. Keep in mind, that's not... I know that's how units work, but that's not necessarily how star levels transfer to lore. There are quite a lot of powerful characters at lower rarity rates. It just more seems to be about, like, how much they want to, like, invest in a unit's stats and stuff. So, but that seems to be at least an argument that some people are thinking. They're thinking, oh, Aoko has access to the 5th magic. She's the protagonist. She defeats Toko. She's super strong and bullshit. So she should be the bigger number. I answered on my own personal thing to, play Inside Baseball. My logic is, hey, free Toko.
Yeah. I voted on this on my personal account. Because I was the first one, I was all like, Toko.
Like, I'll say this, Toko does have a couple of different appearances. There's her, long hair office style from, like, Kara no Kyokai. There's her, like, short hair style from Mahoyoru, where she's all sinister and shit.
Actually, Toko should have been on that fucking list, because Toko was in the fucking Kara no Kyokai CM.
Oh, yeah, she was in the CM.
But never actually showed up in the event, and that eternally made me upset.
Probably why she's not on the list, because she's not actually in it.
I know, but still.
Not even name-checked by Shiki. Shiki just alludes to her. And also, obviously, we have her Case Files appearance, which is, like, slightly different. Her hair is, like, slightly brighter red, more orangey almost. And she's got more, like, a magey clothes on. So, like, you could do a couple, but you could also just do the really but simple thing of, like, take an influence from whatever we're specifically collabing with, and then just costume glasses on, glasses off, glasses on, glasses off. Glasses on all the way, by the way. The glasses stay on, baby. Lucky, I think, had some very good arguments as well for, like, potential pretender vibes later.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people have been shouting out that Puppet Masters seem to keep getting referenced by stuff. So it's interesting. If you have opinions on this, leave them in the comments below.
No, so I definitely think I am going to try and maybe put out a couple more polls and whatnot as we go on, because I was actually looking at things and people like, oh, how do you build your growth? And they're like, engage your community. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll just keep throwing things at the board until we see what sticks. And like I said, we got 50 votes. I think that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I mean, well, you cross-promoted as well in Discord, but that's still part of the system. It's a really interesting thing where, like, sometimes you don't get a lot, sometimes you do get a lot. It's hard to tell where the best place to put stuff is, but definitely, like, trying to draw a little attention to Twitter is not bad. I personally have been trying to use my personal Twitter for more than just retweeting anime titty art and funny video game memes.
And that's all I use mine for.
Mostly I just have other shit I yell about, though. But, yeah, that could definitely work to draw some attention our way and think about stuff and get people interacting. That interactivity, that investment is usually what makes people keep coming back, right? Is the feeling of investment, of investification.
So, I'm not like so secure about it that I'm gonna be like, yes, we are getting the fucking Awazaki collab, because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the fucking Awazaki collab this year. But I still think it's a pretty strong contender. But that's the thing I was thinking about. I think Toko could actually make a very good pretender on her own. But like I said, making a welfare pretender like right out the gate, that'd be wild. I don't want to say it's something that can be unheard of. But I feel like is there some other like welfare niches that hasn't been like filled yet? I'm trying to think.
Let's see. There is a welfare foreigner.
You have a welfare event. Actually, no. Wait, yeah, no. I think a welfare.
Yeah, other than the fact that pretender that just got introduced, I think we have a welfare for every class.
Yeah, actually, I think we do. Yeah,
sick. That's very recent, but we do. Also, I would like talking about this reference. That is actually, I would like to bring this up. That was something that is in Hephaestion's lines. Her line for Renez is basically, "Are you kidding me? You have so many of these people." You know, she's like, because she freaks out a little bit at all the case files members you have, because it's a pretty big cast for us. And then she's like, "You're not going to tell me the Grand Puppeteer is here too." So that's like, is that foreshadowing? I don't know. Probably, because that's usually how that works. But we'll see. But yeah, there's some stuff out there.
There's some stuff there. We'll see as we go on. Right now, I'm getting most excited for Valentines and all the new voice lines that we're going to be getting. It's going to be exciting.
I also, like, honestly, like with JP, with all the different servants, I love seeing what they do. Also, like, that's always so fun to me, both to experience the scenes for myself in NA, but also just to see on the list of, like, hey, what's this servant's Valentine's scene gonna be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what kind of chocolate is Hephaestion gonna get you? It's probably gonna be shaped like Alexander. You know, there's lots of other stuff. What horrible monstrosity are we gonna have to deal with from Morgan and the Fairy Knights, you know?
It's gonna be great.
Well, what deeply fucked up shit is gonna come out of the Koyanskayas? You know? Will it be worse than Summer BB? Well, Oberon's gonna get you a gift back. I bet is he gonna get you the plushie of the thing that we don't talk about?
That's what I'm betting.
That would make sense. But like, will either Koyanskaya be as deeply existentially unsettling as Summer BB or the Kiaras, for instance? I mean, she's drawn by Wada Arco in both forms, so probably yes. Why do they always give Wada Arco the bad end, ladies? What's going on here?
It's like Wada Arco did a game where there was a bunch of bad ends.
I mean, technically there's a shitload of bad ends in the base FSN, but that's different. Ugh. Sorry, I just had a weird thought. I was like, because I was thinking about Taiga Dojo, Year of the Tiger, 5-star Jaggerman Valentines. My brain works like that sometimes, guys. Just like, I sit there, and then the lightning bolts fly between neurons, and then my brain is just like, duh! Go! Speaking of servants who are slightly underserved, I think Jaguar Band / Jaguar Warrior is something that is not energized. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily the artist lets other people. I think it's more about like who they want to get for them. Like, because obviously different art, you know, Takuji's let other people draw Artoria. You know, Lance Artoria is drawn by a different artist, for instance. Like, I wonder if it's they specifically want to make sure there are such design similarities, right? Like, the through line keeps going. Like, for instance, regular Gawain is drawn by Wada Arco, because he was in Extra first, but, like, for Fairy Knight Gawain Bargus, they got a whole new artist to do new art style stuff, you know? And we appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
So there's some interesting stuff there.
Melanini, you the best. Next servant win.
Yeah, got him for one. Summer Bargist?
Probably gotta wait till next summer for that.
Possibly. I don't even know what the fuck summer will be.
Listen, if we do not get a summer fairy night, probably like at least one next year, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, not this year. It's too soon. But next year.
Probably. Let's see. Well, I mean, hopefully Wada Arco doesn't have to draw like 50 servants, so she can actually draw something for summer this year. A new swimsuit. It's swimsuit Koyanskaya. Die. There's a lot of stuff there. That's a different question as well. we can do that. How we could make later, obviously, but that could be a funny poll on Twitter as well. What do you think will happen for summer? Post replies that aren't on this poll in the list below, and then we bait people into replying to us, and they will remember this in 6 months, Lucky. Then they've forgotten all about it. Nobody remembers anything on Twitter. Twitter.com. Just like nobody remembered this character we're about to talk about. Because the poll was cool. People have thoughts. We have thoughts. Conspiracy thoughts.
Conspiracy.
We've been mentioning Hephaestion a lot. I think it's time to do New Servant Deets.
Let's do it.
Alright, this is New Servant Deets. My joke is She is the King edition. So, Hephaestion is now a playable pretender and is permanent. We have a permanent pretender right away. Thank you, Los Engel. That's right, you guys can't say the light works much longer. Then you'll be wrong on the internet. The worst. But, yeah, so, as our first SR in this class, we don't have anybody to compare to stat-wise. She seems to be on the, like, slightly higher HP and, like, a little bit lower attack trend. Would kind of make sense, given that, got some interesting damage potential here. Deck is Quick Arts Buster with, average hit counts and pretty solid NP gain. So, I think it's 3s and everything, which is, I think 3 in all cards is, like, the standard for servants now. So, pretty typical. Now, that Noble Phantasm, you might be surprised considering this is basically, regular Rider Iskander's NP, but spooky. But no, for Hephaestion, Hecatic Wheel is a single target arts, which amps NP damage first, and also slaps the enemy with a 10% weakness to arts and to Buster for 3 turns. So, first skill is a pretty standard 20-30% Buster and arts up on self for 3 turns, and also gives her 3 turns of class advantage against casters. Alright. What's that? We're a pretender and we already get a shitload of class advantage? What if we got even more class advantage? Also, it makes lore sense. This is her, for She is another Iskandar skill. So this is the skill that in the lore means that Hephaestion, Iskander Shadow, can pretend to be Iskandar for purposes of servant stuff. Yay.
Yay.
Second skill is transposed directly from her profile and case files. High-speed divine words at a high enough rank for that old 62 120% battery raw. You gotta love it. You gotta love it when a servant can just be like, no NP? Full NP. This is honestly the skill that made, like, out of early servants, especially early casters, Medea so phenomenal, right? The ability to go from literal 0 to 100% in a flash. Yeah, the actual rank is the same one as, like he's in danger. Whoa. And we just had a conversation about handcuffs earlier. That's a 1%er joke there. Anyway, high-speed divine words, it's the same rank as people brought up as Nido and, Kirki. But, like, the pure style is, like I said, what made Medea such a great unit is she had a single target NP that you would just go, alright, I can NP now. I'm doing it. Boom. Slap a Black Grail on there. God, remember when it was 2020 and I was Cyber? I'm of the Burning Abyss. Which had a comma in it, but that was one character too many. Curse you, character limits. What if every character limit in the world went +1 letter?
That'd be nice.
Be interesting. But yeah, so High-Speed Divine Words is really cool. The third skill is a 1-turn taunt, and also a 1-turn 30-50% defense up. So 50% defense up, really cool. And also 20-30% NP gain up for self. But as a demerit, all curse damage on your party moves to Hephaestion.
I mean, that's one way to get rid of curse.
Yeah. It also makes sense for her backstory. Also, by the way, this Hephaestion's story makes heavy emphasis on Iskander's mother, Olympias, who also, by the way, is referenced in his profile several times as, like, his number one weakness and he has thoughts about. So she could probably qualify as a heroic spirit herself. She's a real interesting case. Anyway, it's a really interesting kit. So she was literally given no name so that for magical purposes, because there's a lot of true name bullshit, she could be Iskandar, so anybody trying to curse Iskandar would miss. They fired, and they missed. So we got some interesting passives. We have Independent Action BEX for high critical damage. I I don't know if this is explained in story or anything. I think this is just a kit thing. Like, it's literally called B, and in her original profile and case files, it's rank B, and then they just put EX in parentheses so they could make it 12%. Like, I think they just were like, okay, so her independent action is B, but we're going to call it EX because we really want that 12% bonus. Thanks, goodbye. Got Camouflage, passive skill, which gives you critical defense and star gen up. This is probably her passive or class skill, which was translated as Disguising, I believe, originally in case files. So I think we're going with Camouflage. Possibly a static Pretender class skill, critical defense and star gen up. Territory Creation EX, which is new for big arts. And a question mark skill for passive 10% NP damage up. By the way, yes, that is a self-amp on NP. That is a damage steroid on NP and a multiple passives on that. So, yeah, that NP, big damage. This is an interesting kit. Like, Hephaestion straight up has great potential as a boss slammer because she's got a lot of potential class advantage, a free, total free play battery skill. You can put any CE you want on her and you will NP right away. And just, you will get so much damage amp and you will get so much damage on target because you can get 1.5 damage on anybody who's Knight class and full-blown 2x class advantage on casters as well. So, pretty wild. But also, with, like, the damage increase on the NP and the way that stuff like break bars work and the taunt, I also think that Hephaestion has potential as basically an off-tank. Like, she can immediately shoot her shot, blow all her offensive mods, and slap an enemy. And then that enemy has a little bit of, like, arts and buster resistance down for several turns. And High-Speed Divine Words has a long cooldown, guys. So you will not necessarily reset her right away. But what you might do is you have her taunt to suck all the damage and the attrition to her, while your other offensive units cycle in. So there's some interesting stuff there. Synergizes well with Iskandar, because he is a buster, and she has several passive abilities to increase her critical damage and critical success, but does not directly make use of them. So you might want somebody like Iskandar out there amping up damage even further. And also his NP generates a shitload of stars. Also, funnily enough, Boop's Waver pretty good.
Honestly, to me, it seems like she best goes with Iskandar, and their point is, she's supposed to, I think overall, personally, she is supposed to be a supportive unit that is basically built to soften up the enemy and set them up for whatever, like, slam jam you're going to bring over next time.
I think technically the way, like, because you can use skills at certain times, you can do it in either order. Like, you could make her your central damage dealer, or like you said, you can use her as the soften up. And I think that's the interesting use of this servant, is that she's got flexible elements. You can use her to bully, and you can use her to support. And honestly, I think this is kind of reflected in what they did with her Ascension designs. It's really interesting, right? Like, her normal one is just Alexander's outfit, basically. Pretending to be like a rider. Her second stage has a staff and looks more castery, and like in her backstory, Iskandar Shadow was taught by Olympius about, like, Dionysus mystery cult magic and shit, so, like, would know magecraft and curses and the like. But then her third ascension is, like, armor and sword and stuff. So, they do some interesting stuff playing around with the fact that, yeah, she can be kind of supportive like a caster, but also she can just be bully. Because obviously her steroid is selfish as well, but that arts and buster resistance down isn't selfish, and, like, obviously she's got the card steroid for it, but I would say on her own, Hephaestion doesn't really get a lot out of that buster resistance down. Yes, she has 2 buster cards, and she has a 3-turn, like 20 to 30% buster up, but other than the intrinsic star weight of Pretenders, which I believe is high, I think it's 200, which would be close to Riders, or it might be 100, which is smack in the middle, like where a lot of extra classes are. Somebody double check that for me. Maybe 200% is their star gen. I don't know. So, like, other than a natural weight of stars and some slight passive crit damage and some slight passive buster ups, that means that you can totally use her to, like, clear an annoying break bar and pop a taunt so that when that enemy immediately NPs, your other damage dealer is not eated,
Mm.
A very common problem. when you break a bar, the enemy gets to crack back, and usually that's a dead servant. Well, guess what? If you taunt, you don't have to worry about that. You know who's gonna die.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. I will personally say, like I say, I think I say off-tank because, and off-tank in MMO terms is, you are not the main tank, you are not primarily a support guy, you are a guy who draws support by drawing aggro from the other tanks, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, technically, Hephaestion is mostly an offensive servant. A lot of her focuses are offensive-based. She doesn't really have a lot of team-wide buffs, but with that taunt, and the fact that that resistance down, she can totally draw pressure off your other servants literally by tanking for them, and by setting up for them to do damage later. Bullies the shit out of Waver. Like, has special class advantage to beat up Waver, but would get beat up by Gray. I think the only thing really interesting here is some of the choices they didn't do with her kit. Because if you've watched case files or you've read the story, you know that she has Mystic Eyes of Compulsion. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for a stun or charm lock here. And considering her, like, backstory and character design, I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, the purpose of the taunt skill and the defense up is to, like, tanks hit for others. But I also think it's kind of interesting that her hardest defense is a 50% defense up. No, like, evade or anything, which you'd think from the way her, like, character design is. It's interesting. Anyway, great permanent add to the team. Star Absorption of 100. Okay, so it's middle of the road. So this does mean that if you put her on a squad with Iskandar, she will never get those stars. Ever. He will take the star. I do want to throw out there, I think it's neat that's ever since, I think, last year they introduced critical defense, right? Mm-hmm. That it's so popularized, like, straight up several servants have it as a passive, and a couple have it for, like, other skills, but that's, like, a really interesting mechanic. That I can't wait to be balling out and just be like, you know, taunt, Hephaestion, and then just see that critical miss effect and just be like, haha, sucks to be you.
But then you missed.
That will happen sometimes in there. But yeah, I think it's cool to see her. They did a lot with their art. Like I said, like, very distinct, different Ascension profiles. You know, great voice work. Totally called it, by the way. Like I said, I was sitting up. It's 4 a.m. It's dark in my room. I'm literally like, FGO, please, for the love of God, go to Game News so I can go to bed. You know, I'm on Discord on my phone, right? And I'm just like, do it. Do it, you motherfuckers. Do it. And then Nissan is like, one more thing. And then they show the bit, and I'm like, do it! And I'm like, yes! Told you so. Somebody pick up that phone. I don't know if Renez is good friends with Hephaestion. Hephaestion seems more just like, the fuck? Hephaestion seems like she wants to be pals with Gray. Also, by the way, like I said, Gray would absolutely clown her shoes a little bit. It's funny how that funny old world, innit? But okie dokie, that is our new servant deets. It is now time for the Amazoness.com pregame, which technically I realize in my notes I have misspelled because for some reason we're very insistent in English that it's spelled with one S, Amazoness, not Amazoness. Technically all of that I think is still, like, fantasy talk. Like, it was just Amazons with a regular S. I don't know.
Great. I don't know.
Anyway, the Amazoness.com pregame. Now you may think, oh my god, Omega, you know, this episode's been going on for God knows how long, 3 hours raw. Probably like 2.5 hours edited, because we usually cut out about 20 to 30 minutes. You have a whole ass pregame after this? Nah, not really. Spoilers, this is short. It's like half a page. You'll see why when I get into it. The crux of it, though, is that this is a 100-floor Setsuban, Oni Pagoda event again, basically. So, if you don't remember this mechanic, even though I remember this mechanic quite fondly, actually, it's pretty interesting, is that when you're doing certain quests, in this case they're called delivery quests, you're delivering the packages for Amazoness, you don't use support, so you have all 6 slots you can fill, and after you use a servant, they are exhausted, they become fatigued, and you cannot use that servant again until a cooldown has gone by, which is several hours. I believe it's 6 hours by default, I think, in this one. So, you are encouraged to diversify and use lots of different servants who you may not normally use. You do this because there are literally, in the main quest, you have to clear, well, not literally 100, because the story quest is after every 10-ish floors, so it's like 90-ish, because the actual, like, delivery 50 is like a story quest. But this means that with accounted for the post-game stuff, there's like 200 fucking quests in here. I cannot walk you through all of them, so the core mechanic is but simple. You use a servant, they get fatigued, you have to wait until you can use that servant again. So your progress is not necessarily just limited by AP. And actually, if I remember rightly from Setsubun, the AP cost on these floors is usually pretty low. I'd have to double check if that's true or not, but I don't care right now. But usually AP is not your limiter. Your limiter is, oh shit, I just used, my fucking not double Merlin. Because servants with the same ID number get the same fatigue timer. So you can't fake out the system by, leveling multiple bronzes. They all get fatigued. But you can't use, your funny haha meme overkill strats over and over again. You have to keep switching it up, or you have to take a fucking break. Now, there is a relaxation facility you can put your servants in to get their cooldown reduced. I believe the default is halved. But unlike Setsubun, the Pagoda event, you can actually unlock more slots. It starts at 5, but you can unlock more. I don't know what the cap is, though. That was not readily available in reading wiki articles. Also, the normal cooldown time is boosted by certain quests and certain areas you unlock based on what affinity servants have for the facilities. Now, what I mean by this is different areas in the relaxation facility have different little funny titles. For instance, I think one of the last ones you can unlock is the reading room. Well, depending on the servant you're using, you can put them in different parts of the relaxation facility, and they will actually cool down faster. I think, for example, if you put Lady Murasaki in the reading room, her cooldown goes by faster. Now, this is a complex system for all the different servants, so I cannot possibly explain it to you. We would be here so long, and it would be so boring for me to list. So in the reading facility, in Sabers, you can put these it would take too long. So you may have to look up a guide for this, but just know that the relaxation, the healing system to recover from your fatigue taster is more complex and has more slots. So hopefully, if you pay attention, you can cycle through your servants you like to use faster. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Now, you will undertake deliveries to unlock story quests, which unlock more deliveries. So the system is very simple. Every 10 delivery quests, you unlock a new main story quest. So you will do 10 deliveries and then do a main story bit. Now, the event warns you, enemies will be final singularity tier. It's mostly for the post-game stuff, but there's a little bit in some of the boss fights are like break bars. So, as I mentioned just now, main story quests happen every 10 floors. They include a prologue and an epilogue, so you will actually get 11 Saint Courts out of this event, a Grail at the end, and a costume for Penth, her CEO costume. It's just her glasses and tie, but it's fucking adorable. I love it. Now, I will warn you, the first fight you do in the main quest, you will notice there's a shitload of HP. It's one of those survive quests. You just gotta live 5 turns to break the first bar. Don't freak out. Other than that, the enemies and quests are pretty basic. You got a variety of enemies with 150 to 200k HP with some break bars and a couple of extra buffs, but nothing too weird. Most of them are pretty straightforward. Some of them will have special story buffs. You will be able to deal with this. It's not that complicated. The complex shit comes later. I also let you know you will have pretty consistent access to Cleopatra and Penth as story support. Yes, you get access to story support in the main story. And I think in main story you don't have to deal with fatigue as well. You have to deal with fatigue and other stuff. And now, like I said, I'm going to note to you that to complete all the main story, there's literally between 190, not between 190, 190 different delivery quests. I will not be unpacking them all. There's a lot of them. If you guys actually played Setsubun, you know what I mean. A lot of them are not really that complicated. It's just, do a couple waves, get out of here, right? They start pretty simple. They start monoclass. Yes, that means they do not finish monoclass, unfortunately. And they start pretty wimpy. In the first couple floors, some enemies won't even have, boss waves might not even break, 100k. They'll be, 80-something.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll start pretty lowballed, so you can start with your lower rarity servants or your not fully leveled servants. And as you climb deeper and deeper, you do more and more deliveries. You get deeper into the story. They will get more complex and have higher HP values. So as you get further, they will slowly reach in difficulty, but they do not start super hard. At least for the main quest stuff. After you complete the main story and the original 100 deliveries, the 100 floors, you will unlock the EX stages, which is another 100 floors. These involve higher HP levels. The bosses of these quests will actually have break bars, for instance. You will have another level of the floors to do this. You will also have to deal with more extra classes, and completing the main story will also unlock the challenge quest. But the thing you probably want to know about and need to know about beforehand is... Also, when you get to the EX stages, every 10 EX deliveries you complete, you unlock not a main quest, but an EX raid. Yes, there are raids in this. So, I think these are personal raids. Their HP value is tied to you personally. And they have a 15-turn time limit, and they follow the fatigue system. So servants you use in raids become fatigued, and you cannot use fatigued servants in a raid. So, watch out for that. I want to reiterate, because a lot of people apparently were unhappy about this mechanic, raids with fatigue. Personally, I don't think that's any dumber than Battle Point raids, but whatever. These are optional. There's no welfare in this event. I believe you get all your copies of the one event CE, which we will talk about later, from just the regular 100 floors. All of these raids happen after you get your Grail. You do not have to do them, but if you do them, you will get pretty decent rewards. One of them, for instance, is worth like 15 million QP. Another one of the EX raids, I think the last one gives you like 3 rare prisms. So they're nice, but they are not required. I want to throw this out there. Actually, honestly, doing everything in this gives you big rewards. Every delivery quest gives you like EXPs or material drops. Like you might complete an EXP quest and get like 2 hearts or 2 Hydra Vodkas or 10 gold XPs. There is also a milestone system for all 200 possible levels. So combined, it's basically like a mission list. Like every individual floor you clear gives you drops, and also every 10-ish floors you get a milestone. Broken up for all 200. So you get extra mats from this, you get XPs from this. The milestone system has a lot of other shit. It includes 6 copies of the event CE.
Yay!
And the event CE, it just gives you plus 100% bond during the event on the equipped servant. So you can really get them bond points. Also, the milestone system contains 3 bond grails.
Sick.
And 2 lures. So there's a lot of good shit in this event. I would say, like we do with, like, basically like with lottos, don't feel like you have to slam jam all 200 floors. I think I myself barely completed floor 200 in Setsuban. And like, I think I went down to the wire doing the CQ, also because that CQ sucked, but anyway. Like, there is plenty of reward if you can go the distance, but to get your Grail and to get Pent's costume permanently unlocked, you only have to do the first 100. At no point do you have to do the raids, as far as I can tell. That's just like, you probably want those 15 million QP, I bet you do. So,
I do.
You'll probably try and do that raid.
I'm gonna do that raid.
And if they are, like, server-wide raids, like I said, I don't think they are, because they're tied to you unlocking floors. I think they're personal. Let me know in the comments. Or let me know in the live chat if anybody knows. But I believe they are personal raids, so you just have to do them a couple of times yourself. You can get a lot out of this event if you put a lot into it, but if you are a newer player, if you don't have a lot of highly leveled servants, and so this fatigue system kind of really crumps your style, don't worry about it too much. Focus on clearing just the first 100 floors. If you're a madman who, like, owns literally every servant in the game and has leveled a decent number of them, you can probably go ham and do all 200 floors, but also don't feel like you gotta do that either, because, you know, some of that shit might be hard.
Live your best life, y'all.
Yeah. Do what is best for you. Treat it like golf. Measure yourself against your score, not everybody else's scores. There should be a summon banner for this. It will be a rotation of Cleopatra and Osaka Hime with Penth on raid up all the time. There are no gacha CEs. I think Setsuban might even have been similar. But yeah, this is kind of a weird slimline event. I'm like, that's really it. I'm sorry the pregame is kind of short, but like, the main meat of this event is there are 200 technically unique floors for you to go through. A lot of them will have jokes in them. But breaking down literally 200 individual quests is hard. So, you guys get to be spoiler-free. Try them out yourself. Have fun. Clear as many floors as you like. I honestly will probably, try and do my best for all 200 because I've got a pretty decent spread. Especially since, like I said, the relaxation zone is more complex this time. But, take it at your own pace. The game literally has fatigue. The game will literally tell you to take a break when you use too many servants. So be cool, kids. But I think a lot of people actually kind of like this kind of event. I know I did, because it really lets you stretch units you probably haven't used in a while, if ever. Because it really rewards, especially, like I said, for those lower floors, working through some of your lower rarity, lower level servants, and then saving your, like, big, chunky, high rarity servants for the actual, like, really hard shit at the end. So it'll be interesting. I think honestly, I understand why people are not going to be happy about the raids with fatigue, but I think that's kind of interesting because normally what you do with raids is you assemble the perfect team of damage and then you just smash that button over and over again because you're competing with people and you want to get it over. With fatigue, you can't do that. You have to actually cycle your team and cycle your supports. So it makes you stop and think about this shit. So that'll be interesting, but I can also see it'll be frustrating for somebody. But I would like to once again reiterate my pregame by saying, take your time. Don't be afraid to heal up. Get your relaxation on. Literally, this event involves work-life balance. It's part of the mechanics. Sometimes you got to take a break from delivering packages and get a relaxation. Don't pee in a bottle. Topical. And that's it. I'm actually quite psyched for this, not just because we get to see a lot of Cleo and Pen and other funny stuff.
Listen, I am absolutely excited for more CEO Pen.
Yeah. But also, this event will be fun. I'll enjoy doing some weird team comps. Plus, you get 6 servants. You don't need... You can't use support even. You don't need your friends. They're useless. You must survive on your own. And that means I don't have to look at any fucking Scotties. Fucking Scotty and the caster slot when there's fucking assassin nodes to farm. How dare you? Scotty doesn't kill monkeys. But, it should be fun. And that's all I got. Like I said, it's literally half a page, but it's a straight line, guys. You gotta climb 200 floors, deliver 200 packages. Have fun.
I'm excited for this story.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be fun. It's gonna last a while. So, after that, we should be, some people have been asking what we'll be doing. I think personally we should be probably the interlude campaign next.
Probably, yeah.
Because that is supposed to happen next anyway, and what day is Valentine's Day? The 14th. Okay, so yeah, it's a couple weeks in, so when does this end? The 31st? Yeah, they'll probably, that makes perfect sense. They'll probably, start the interlude campaign, right as the CEO event ends, and then on the 7th or 8th or something, they'll be and now Valentine's begins, and then that means the event will be going through the actual Valentine's Day holiday, but will not be, directly tied to it, so you can get all your happy, fancy boy Valentine's Day feelings out, which I will be doing. I don't know when... That means I don't know when exactly the pregame for Valentine's this year will be out, but I'll figure it out. It'll be somewhere in there. But yeah, we have an interlude campaign coming up. I don't think it's super important. I will double check who is on it, because I know you guys like it when we talk about stuff that's about to happen, that Clairvoyant CX, y'all. But is there any other news-related or discussion-related items to FGO we want to bring up, Lucky, while I am scrolling through the unlimited events list?
No. Not right now. I think we got everything.
Alright, so 2020 February interlude campaign part 12.
Actually, who's on the interlude campaign?
So the banner is Bradamante, Zhang Yu, Asclepius. So for Asclepius, that's kind of nice. He's story locked, so bring back that conversation. There are 6 interludes. All of them except Zhang Yu are quartz interludes.
Huh.
So he gets a skill upgrade. It's Benny Enma, Moriarty, Bradamante, Zhang Yu, Ashwataman, and Asclepius. So, that's cool. It's especially good to see a couple of those, like Zhang Yu for, Lost Belt 3, which does, by the way, require Lost Belt 3 cleared, to do it. A lot of these actually require Lost Belt 3, prologue cleared as well.
I wonder if the Zhang Yu one will have Python in it. I hope it does.
I don't know, and can't check, because I don't have that guy. Oh shit, I should check what I need bond level 3 to do Ashwatamans, so I gotta make sure to put him and Asclepius in rotation so their bonds are high enough. Because I can do those. I can only do about half of these. I can at least do Moriarty's. That'll be interesting to see what Moriarty's is like, because obviously he had his whole ass event with Spider's Web, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in a normal interlude. But yeah,
you say that like he won't just show up as a bartender again anyway.
Well, I mean, he will, because he'll be in that costume for me. But yeah, it's kind of a bait banner. I mean, the Asclepiuses are cool because he's story locked, right? So that means you can't. That's to actually bring up about our conversation. Story locked 3 stars are the worst because technically you can roll 3 stars in the FP gacha, but you can't roll them story locked in there for some reason. So that's just them denying you stuff you should have. Sucks butts. Fix that. You're a new company now. You're gonna be a new company. You're gonna have a new name that we can't yell at you. So please, Los Angeles, don't make us yell at you because we can't yell at.
I still can't.
It's weird. It's so weird. I don't know why, but what do you abbreviate that as?
LS?
LS, I guess, yeah?
Because that's where the syllable break is. Lasangle.
At least that's where we assume the syllable break is. I haven't heard anybody Japanese pronounce it.
Lasangle.
Yes. Well, I remember it was... it would be because a lot of people were like, it's Rasen something. But they officially, like, said the typeface, it's Lasangle. That's harder to yell than Delightworks, so don't make us yell at you, please. Thank you.
They make it yell us enough. We're gonna get it eventually.
Rasengan!
Rasengan? I swear it's an anime attack, because I keep thinking of Rasengan.
Well, yeah, a lot of people made that joke about the Rasengan, because it's I believe the way the Japanese phenoms break down is it's Rasenguru?
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably go LG, but that's already a company, so... we'll let you know about any of that other stuff. The interlude campaign will be interesting, but it is mostly probably going to be after Benny and Marie run and 100 floors. You're going to need a little bit of a breather before Valentines, because God knows how much of a clusterfuck that's going to be. I believe it's still like a lock-on and random Choco at least, so it's not going to be horrifying, but...
Depends on how much you've rolled this year.
Yeah, who you have new. What do you got to attain? Luckily, I don't think because they did the voice switch over last year, you don't have to worry about, like, having to literally get everybody again. Which wasn't really a problem because they gave you enough fucking chocolate anyway. It's just that means you had to click through so many scenes because they were all new this time. And had new elements.
Boy, did I click through every single one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I worked hard.
That said, that's more of a thing for you than it is for me. Because you have way more servants than I do. I should double check my CE logs. Whose Valentines am I missing? Like, who have I rolled new this year? I'm having trouble working my brain because we've been doing this show for 3 hours to actually like type in Fate Grand Order Wiki. But they do have a CE list somewhere, so we can go do crash steps in this list, and I believe they have specifically Valentines. Oh, you're confusing the shit out of me. Sorry, the fandom wiki for FGO has like a really good craft essence list, but I'm trying to actually like get to my... There it is, okay. So we can actually do Valentine, and it lists them in order. So what is new this year? Where's the cutoff here? Scrolling.
Searching.
Oh, well, I mean, there's some great ones. I just realized that the straight cutoff obviously would be Lady Murasaki, so the first number 1 and number 2 lucky new on the list is King Protea and Kama.
Sick.
Let's see. There's Gray, there's Jinako. Ooh. That's right, there's 2 scenes for Mao and Nobunaga. We've got some new bronzes, that'll be funny. New summers, obviously. Oh my god.
Oh, Jason's gonna be great if you're like, what the fuck?
I can't wait, I'm so glad I actually got Summer Carmilla, because, her Valentine's chocolate is called Absolutely Not Stolen for You, Choco. Oh, right, I think, actually, wait, does Space Ishtar have a potential bad end? I think she does, in her space diorama, Choco. I think you can fuck up and die.
Why? God damn it.
Space!
Oh god, this is why we shouldn't be affectionate towards interdimensional beings without standing fucking powers. God damn it. But no, we can't help ourselves, can we?
And, Santa Nightingale's is just, her own take on chocolate bullets.
Is it bad to say this is not going to be the first time I'm receiving chocolate bullets?
So, yeah. Valentine's got some pretty cool ideas. We're gonna see, some fun stuff. Movie transdimensional beings shouldn't be so cute. Correct.
I can't believe my interdimensional being is this cute. That's already a light novel, I bet.
Probably. And then for Dude Men's, what do we got? Fushman, Asclepius, Mori Nagayoshi. Oh, Jason.
Yeah, no, that's one I'm excited for.
Miniature Argo. Listen, I think I'm gonna have a talk with Paris about this miniature Apollo he's giving me. It's very adorable, but also,
I don't trust sheep. Just as a principle.
Oh, that's right. This is technically 2 years in the future because Lost Belt 5 Part 2 happens after Valentine's. But I forgot that Romulus's queerness's gift for you is just a fucking wolf.
That sounds like the best.
It's called Magnus Lupus. It's a big fucking wolf. Damn, dude. But yeah, so there's some really interesting stuff. Oh my god, Magicardo. No. My heart and his heart won't take it.
It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah, so there's gonna be some sick stuff. Also, yes, I've just realized, wow, it's really interesting to see this cut off because, for last year's Valentine's, the latest male servant was Muramasa. Several have come out since then, but it's kind of weird to be like, wow, That's over a year ago. But that's New Valentines hasn't happened yet, so we haven't caught up. But yeah, there'll be some fun scenes and stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I'm always hyped for Valentine's, especially since they added the voice stuff, and especially since I have like 20 fucking gigs free in my phone.
That's a lot of gig.
I bought it to make sure it had plenty of memory. It started with like 50 gigs of storage space, but FGO and technically my Blue Archive install, but that's still pretty small, have eaten a lot of it.
No.
FGO is big, especially with all them voice files. But I think with that little preview out of there, just letting you know what's coming up for us in the soon. Technically, that's all February, obviously, but like I said, this is January. We know basically all of the January schedule, barring like some special tie-in campaigns, which may or may not emerge. Enmate is going to end soon, and then Amazon CEO will begin. That event will basically be running through the whole rest of the month, and we're gonna have some fun. With that out of the way, I think we will go ahead and let you guys go and do our outro, because we have talked about all the things there are to talk about with FGO currently, for now, for this moment. So let's do the outro. Sorry, I had an awkward pause there because I looked at my computer's weather report readout. I forgot it's supposed to be cold again. It's apparently 43 degrees outside. It's a little chilly for me. It's a little intense for Florida. But I will now do the outro. The outro goes a little something like this. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like on YouTube. Fight that algorithm. Sumo throw it on the ground. Like this video. Every like is a victory of you over the algorithm. Leave any comments you have in the comment section down below. Love to hear your comments on event stuff, poll stuff, whatever. Obviously, while we would have preferred you engage with our social media poll, if you have any thoughts about the Toko Alko question, go ahead and leave them in the comments as well. That also helps us out. You can also join our Discord. The link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. Come hang out with people, yell about raids. But not Raid Shadow Legends, not sponsored by them yet. Raid, call me. I know you have finicky ad reads, but I'm sure I can get that integration down. I'm good at speaking. Anyway, if you want to make it so that we can get sponsored by people, possibly not Raid Shadow Legends, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Give us more subs. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, subscribe to us. Do not be at the mercy of YouTube telling you want to watch this video. Know you want to watch it. Put it in your sub box. And also consider ringing that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream. Yes, we do, in fact, stream. You should watch those. They're cool. We're coming up on the end of God of War soon, I think. But ringing that bell is very helpful, and unlike, like, sub numbers and likes and stuff, that's not really a metric that does anything for us. That just helps you. Ringing that bell just helps you get our content sooner. So consider hitting it and setting to all. You can, of course, join our channel membership. There's a join button or a link in the description as well. Support our channel, get access to membership badges and emotes, and get access to a funny title. Memberships now at least 100% funnier. Possibly 200%. We'd have to crunch the numbers on that. You know how we feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not crunching anything else. Except food.
Except delicious chocolate. I think I'm going to go make some hot chocolate after this, because it's fucking cold. Now you understand why we had the fireplace on earlier. But that is not the last bit of the outro, though I do like to spice it up a little bit. There is one last thing. Like I said at the front of the show, you can consider supporting us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year, and it's still pretty early in the year, so you can lock that year in early. You can get access to this podcast in audio format. The audio is available as soon as I finish editing it. It is right away on our Patreon. Hours, minutes within, sometimes, probably not today, because it's a little longer, but, sometimes short, within us recording it, up on the Patreon audio, and for that amount, you get access to our entire audio backlog as well, if you ever wanted to take us on the go. At higher levels, you can vote in topic polls, like Teach Me Omega Sensei. Let's go ahead and pull that up really quick so I can check in with that. And Fanservant Friday. Fanservant Friday, I should specify, is actually the poll running this month. Teach Me, we are still in flux on. I guess if people really want me to try and explain fake, I can try to explain what we got, but it's also not complete, so... At higher levels, you can listen to the show get recorded live, get on our shoutouts, and more. And our last little note I will leave you with is Fanservant Friday still going strong. Lindworm is winning, but is down to 57% with 14 votes. I do believe we still have quite a few people who can vote left. And if you're a patron listening to this, you've got 16 hours left, so get your votes in now. You have a special right to vote. You pay me money to vote, so use your rights now. But Lindrum is still powerful in the lead, but now Maria Okibutsukai has crept up a little bit as well. So she's not in dead last. Poor dead models. But yes, you can still affect this. We've still got a little bit of time left. But that is the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, wherever you choose to tune into us. And we will see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO. CEO will have started. Amazon S will start up, so we'll be sure to be talking about that. Because that'll be, Tuesday, technically? Yeah. Starts the 18th. So, yeah, we'll be sure to talk about that. We'll talk to you about anything else weird that happens with JP or any other news out there. keep you up to date with all the other shenanigans. And also, after you're watching this episode, public on YouTube, check our channel feed. We'll be streaming What's Up, our other podcast about other stuff. Did you like those weird tangents we went on about game design and cavemen? Watch What's Up. It's like that, but all the time. Watch Lucky do Final Fantasy XIV. Or other stuff. He showed off some Last Origin last time. In the censored mode, so we didn't get in trouble.
I found out I can. There is a... Well, I can talk about that later, actually.
There's some stuff. We'll talk about those things on What's Up. You should tune in. So, that's it for me. Good luck and good night, everybody. Have fun delivering packages across America. Wait, wrong game.
See you next time.
Sam, this is Die Hardman.